BiffNet Studios World Headquarters in Spring, Texas, it's Barry on Deck, hosted by former ESPN Houston radio host and stand-up comedian Barry Laminack, starring Oliver the Cat. Written by Barry Laminack, produced by Barry Laminack, directed by, you guessed it, Barry Laminack. Featuring sports, entertainment, special guests, film sessions, and some drinking. Okay, a lot of drinking. Viewer discretion is advised. And now, here's your host, Barry Laminack.
Oh, what's up, you damn dirty deckheads? Welcome to Barry on Deck. I am your host, Barry Laminack. Thank you guys for being here. Today is Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. Mike was on. And this is episode number 774 of Barry on Deck. Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the program. Hey, hello, hi, how are you? Wherever you are, wherever you may be. Who says that? There's somebody that starts their show. Wherever you are, wherever you may be, thank you for whatever. I don't do that. Not on this show. We have our own original opening. Welcome to the show. Hope you're good. Hope your eclipse night was well. Glad that's over with. Not gonna lie. This is stupid. What a dumb day. What a big, dumb, stupid, dumb day. Glad it's over with. Got that out of the way. Oh, no, Donna, it wasn't. Hey, what's up, Tracy? Good to see you. It wasn't Johnny Carson. Wherever you may be. Oh, who was it? It's somebody current. It's somebody current where they're like, wherever you are, wherever you may be watching from. I don't remember who it is. I don't think it's a podcaster. I want to say it's a radio guy. It's like, I don't know. I stole it. And y'all know me. I don't like to steal. I'm all original. Yo, what up, Dre? Look at Dre coming in early. Oh, snap. Dre's in early. Oh, it's Colin Cowherd. Look at Tracy. Tracy, why aren't you here more often to set the record straight? It is Colin Cowherd. Thank you, Flip. Oh, now Flip chimes in. Well, Flip didn't see that because Flip's on Twitch. Tracy's checking in on the tubes. Tracy's over there getting the tubes tied. That's not. All right. What's up to everybody watching in on YouTube? What's up to everybody watching in on Twitch? Thank you to everybody tuning in. All right. Just tweeted the show out. So yeah, if you're new and don't know, we are live on YouTube and we are, in fact, live on Twitch. So we do it both ways. But hey, Alec is early too. Look at that. Okay. Now listen, Dre said Barry is the Carlos Mencia of podcasts. On site, Dre. On site. 5 of these across your lips. Rest in peace to Fred Sanford. Or Red Fox. Called him Fred Sanford. Rest in peace to Red Fox. Oh my gosh. By the way. Oh, wow. So I shaved. Oh. You guys see that? That little red dot right there? It doesn't look like much, right? It's one of those subcutaneous pimples. Subcutaneous means under the skin, right? It's under the sea. It's one of them under the skin. It's not herpes, Flip. Okay? First of all, chat. All right, this whole chat is out of order.
Heck yeah.
Hey. Steven the Weather Guy, thank you for subscribing for 26 months. Let's go. Much appreciated, sir. I want everybody to be on their best behavior today. All right. A couple of things. We've got a guest today. My guest joining me in the fourth hour. His name is Nick Morrison. He is a stand-up comedian, and he is a former professional bull rider. He is a motivational speaker. So I'm hoping he can motivate some of you losers to do something with yourself. Looking at you, FJ. Looking at you, Flip. Looking at you, Dre. I'm just everybody that was just talking trash in the chat just this past 17 seconds is all I'm directing this at. Just all you haters. What's up, Uriel? Oh, Tracy, you watched the eclipse from a plane? Oh, did I say fourth hour? I meant third. No, not fourth hour. No, there's no fourth hour. Third hour. He'll be here at 4:00. So, so Nick Morrison going to join me at 3:00. It's going to be super dope. So, yes, Nick Morrison going to be here. I am looking forward to this. I think you guys are going to really, really enjoy his story. It is a fascinating story when you understand what this man has been through in his life. It makes you kind of take stock of the things you complain about. I know when I was talking to him and he started telling me about I was like, why am I moping around feeling bad for myself? Like, what? And then I was like, I got to get this dude on the show. Just because, one, I like to have comics on and we talk shop a little bit, but I like to have interesting people on the show. And, with him being in rodeo, that's a sport. So this is a sports show. So it just kind of made sense. Comic, sports, it just all fit. It was perfect. So we're going to have him on the show. Now, I will say, Nick has really carved out a niche in the business. He has a very specific audience. And so I want everybody to know that I will be on my best behavior today. Nick has a very specific audience, and they may be trickling in from time to time. So I'm going to do my best not to curse today, and out of respect for Nick and his audience. All right. Nick does a lot of clean comedy. He like I said, he does a lot of motivational speaking. He performs a lot for churches, but he does, family friendly and clean comedy. And it doesn't mean it's think about this. Think of it this way. Because a lot of times when you say that, people go, look, some of the best, look, Donna goes, why can't you do that for us? I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly, okay? You got to let me fly, Donna. I'm a peacock. You got to let me flap my wings and fly. But sometimes when you say that, people tend to get turned off. Oh, clean dude, some of the funniest comics out right now, 100% clean. Nate Bargatze, my boy Dusty Slay, Brian Regan. So, I mean, yeah, Jerry Seinfeld. So the great thing is when comics are at their best, when they're clean and you don't even notice it. That's the beauty of, great clean comedy. Is you don't even realize it. And, plus your boy did Dry Bar and did clean comedy too. So, hey, but I promised him because, his crowd, and he's got a huge crowd, man. He's got a huge following. He's hundreds of thousands of social media fans, and he tours, and this dude's he's a big deal. Okay, so I'm respecting his authority. So what is he? Are we going to church? Do they serve wine, Alan? Alan, if we are going to church, you, sir, have got to, you need Jesus. You definitely need Jesus. Look at Ian. Ian, I love you, son. I love you so much, bro. Ian checks in and goes, I will not Say a word. You know you want to, Ian. You know you want to so bad. Ian wants to tell us. Ian, I know what you want to tell us. I know you want to tell us UConn won. I know you do. Go on and say it, Ian. Go on and say it. It's not on my list. It's they watched it. Go on and say it. Jen said we love Allen just the way he is. Oh, yeah, of course we do. I love everybody just the way they are. Of course. Flip said the doctor said you need to stop. Okay. Flip, get out of here. I almost read that stupid ass chat message. I should time you out just for that dumbass chat message. He was like, I'm not saying nothing. I love you, Ian. Anyways, guys, look. This thing right here, oh my God. It hurts so bad. What's up, Philip Barnard? Thank you. Thank you for the 10 bits, buddy. This is the most humongous. It's either a zit or an ingrown hair. It hurts so bad. Thank God I got a big nose to congratulate. Damn it, Ian! I told you don't say nothing. I just messing with you, buddy. It hurts so bad. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. So, it's a good thing I got a big nose to kind of cast a shadow on it so you don't really see it. Nonetheless. All right. So, that's our guest for the day. He's going to be joining me around 4 o'clock. I've got a clip for you. He was nice enough to share a clip with me. I've even got some photos of him bull riding that I will be able to share with you. Pretty dope, actually. He started, I want to say, well, let me not spoil it because I'll actually get it wrong. I'll probably get it wrong and give you the wrong info anyways. So, yeah, let me not do that. Let me not get it wrong. Yo, Steven, thank you for the 100 bits, buddy. Appreciate you, famo. What did I say? Steven said, while I vehemently disagree with your Eclipse take, here's 100 bits. Thank you. Eric Resendez says, I will pay $10 to whoever bans Flip for today, please. To the Twitch mods. For timing him out or banning him for the day? I mean, yeah. I mean, that's between y'all. I don't want them abusing their privileges, but you can pay them to time them out. That's 100% okay. They can't ban him for the day. That's an abuse of, no, that's an abuse of power. Can't allow that. Can't be the whole day. That's an abuse of power. No, he's done nothing to be. And there you go. That's got to be worth at least like $3. That's got to be worth at least $3 to $5 at least, right? Jen timed him out. That's got to be worth at least $3 to $5. Jen was like, I'll do it for free. Don't worry about it. All right, we also got to look at, it was Jen. She did it, but it wasn't for the whole day. No, I can't allow that. That's an abuse of power. Trust me, I would like to too, but I got to be fair. Fair and balanced. This is like Fox News. Jen said I have 1 billion points. Well, there you go. Hey, what's up? Hey, Stu, it's good to see you, buddy. What's up, Sean? We also have to do the bracket challenge update. Don't let me forget that. Okay, don't let me forget that. All right, plenty to get to. We got history of top 10 quarterback picks. We're going to get to that. I'll show you why the NIL matters. We'll get to that as well. That's going to be important. So tons of things to discuss, to break down, including my boy Jerome Solomon sent me something, and it was like, oof, I didn't realize this. I don't know if he was there for it. But in Arlington, as you know, Framber Valdez, unable to make his start. He was scratched due to what they call it? It was it tightness in his elbow? Whatever. Did Eric really pay you, Jen? Did he really send you money? That's so great. That is so great. I love that we're doing bounties for timeouts. That doesn't hurt my feelings either. Just send her $5. Elbow discover. There you go. There you go, Donna. He's a man of his word. Oh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. We are literally cross-platform timing people out, and I am here for it. That is so funny. Yeah, so we had a call up, and I'll have something specific for you on that from the Astros game, which was brought to my attention by my boy Jerome Solomon. So sad news on that. And I will have a clip for you of Nick Morrison when we go to break before the 4:00 hour. So we'll get to that and some non-sports stuff for you as well, including what were the popular middle names in the decade you were born, huh? And then I have this one kind of cool thing. It's one of those kind of goofy but kind of cool things where it's like you can only pick 3 of these, and we shall debate which 3 you would pick. Okay? Flip said, "You can't shake me, baby." Now he's over on YouTube. Oh, but I can, because I can still time you out over there too, buddy. You don't think I can? Boom. And a 10-minute timeout on YouTube. There you go, Eric. Send me $5. And he's timed out. Yep. He thought he was slick. He's all like, "Can't shake me. You can't shake me. Look at me. I'm like," what do you say? "I'm like herpes. I flare up everywhere I go. You can't shake me." But the problem is that I can. I screenshotted it for you guys on Twitch that can't see it. Where did it go? Where's my screenshots folder at? Is it in my... Oh, it's in my pictures. There we go. Screenshots. I saved it for you guys. I just got to find it real fast. Right fast. Oh, there it goes. Here we go. This was Flip thinking he was slick. There he goes. Flip timed out. Flip was timed out. 600 seconds. That's on YouTube. That's what you get for trying to be funny, Flip. That's what you get, Flip. That's what you get. All right. So let's get to our sports headlines first. Here we go. All right, here's your sports headlines for the day. Enough tomfoolery. Enough tomfoolery. Of course, with UConn going back to back, the noise, the rumor mill immediately starts up. Hey, what's up, John Dorier? Good to see you, buddy. Excuse me. You know, of course, the rumor mill was going to start firing up immediately. And I mean, they wasted no time. Dan Hurley said he made it clear Monday night that he plans to stay with the Huskies and attempt to win a 3rd straight title. So, oh, Eric, I was joking, bro. You didn't need to send me $5. It was a joke, buddy. Well, thank you. I don't know why my nose is itching. Flip must be talking trash about me. But yeah, so there was rumors that, hey, Dan Hurley, he could be up for the Kentucky job. He might be going to Kentucky. Now that Calipari has gone to Arkansas, you know, Kentucky is a destination gig in college basketball. I don't know. I mean, Dan Hurley's kind of turned UConn into a destination gig as well. Why would you leave? You've won back-to-back national titles. You don't need to go anywhere. What else? I mean, why would you need to leave? Why would you go anywhere? Hey, what up, Ashton? Good to see you, buddy. There's no reason to leave. You know what I mean? It's one thing if you're like, you've made 2, 3, or 4 Final Fours in a row, or you've gotten to the Natty and lost once or twice. You know, you go to Kentucky because that's the advantage you're looking for. Or you were at a place like Gonzaga and you won a natty once and hey, you're feeling good. But I mean, bro, you went back to back. That don't happen all that often. And they've won 6 since what? They said 99? UConn has 6 national titles since 99. Why do you need to leave and go to Kentucky? You don't. You absolutely don't. Appreciate you, Ashton. Ashton said, always impressed by your graphics, Barry. Thank you, sir. I take a lot of pride in it. I try to give the people a solid... I'm not the best graphic design guy. I don't, I'm sure there's a lot better graphic design folk out there. But I do my best. I absolutely do my best to make the show as visually appealing as possible for folks. Why just look at my dumb face all day? Yo, what's up, Clarence? Good to see you, buddy. Now, look, that is a fair point. If they're not paying him, he should leave. Well, yeah. But you win back-to-back national titles, guess what they're going to do? They're going to pay you. I mean, you would have to be a pretty stupid AD to not pay a head coach that takes your program to back-to-back national titles and wins them. You got to be pretty dumb. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. But is it after UConn beat Purdue 75-60 to repeat? Hurley addressed the opening with a few jokes, telling reporters he doesn't, quote, think that's a concern. When asked about Kentucky, he added they should ask his wife, Andrea, who is also a native of New Jersey. Oh my God, Kentucky or anywhere that's going to take her further from New Jersey, he said, when asked about her reaction to a potential move. I mean, we just went to Rhode Island, which I had to drag her to, and then to Connecticut. I got her closer, and now further, I can't afford a divorce right now. I just started making money. Hurley went on to give some insight into what's next for his program. Now you're thinking in your brain, as I'm looking at the locker room, about the chance to do it 3 times like a dynasty in modern times. I mean, that's what I'm thinking about. So, and I said UConn officials are in line with what Hurley is thinking, as they gave Hurley a hefty new contract last year in the wake of his first national title. Hurley made $5 million this season as part of the 6-year deal that was announced in June. And let me tell you what, it would not surprise me that because he won another one, he gets a new deal. He gets a bonus, or it gets restructured again. That's how some of this stuff works. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way the world works sometimes. You get stuff. You win titles, you get new money, you get more money. So, hey, that's how it works. Steven, the weather guy, said in Hurley's post-game interview, he made a point to say UConn gives us all the resources we could ever need in NIL money. Yeah. Well, there's that too. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, in the past, you might be like, oh, he's talking about cheating. But now it's like, oh, okay, perfect. That's all they need. So that's what he needs. Sean said 6 titles and no one outside of UConn knows about them. What are you talking about? Like, everybody knows about them. Everybody knows about them. What are you talking about? Ash's at Broke Boy Sports said UConn boosters aren't turning off the money fountain anytime soon either. The football team is in the dumps. Lots of money going to hoops. Yeah, that's a hoops school. That's what it is. It's a hoops school. There are plenty of schools that are hoops schools first. Hoops schools first. I mean, Connecticut is one. I'd like to think Kentucky is one. Even though Kentucky football's been pretty good and decent a lot of times. Yeah. North Carolina's actually turned it around football-wise, especially with Mac Brown. Yeah, U of H is... No. U of H was a football school. They've been kind of both. Duke was kind of a... Kansas... It's kind of always been a hoops. Indiana. I mean, there are some schools that are just a hoop school. They're going to get the bulk of the money. So, I don't know. What's up, Fidel? Good to see you, buddy. Adam, what's up, man? Adam Wetstein said, for next stream, do a dive on how the Blue Jays renovation has made it so the broadcaster can't see balls hit down the line. Well, I don't know if that would... Is this a problem? Yeah, Villanova's another good one, too. Yeah, I said Kansas. Yeah, Adam, is this an issue, Adam? Am I missing something? I'd be curious to see how many people would... Are people clamoring for this content, Adam? Am I missing something? Am I missing a hot topic? Let me go to Google Trends. Is that a... I don't want to be missing out on a hot trending topic, that's for sure. Oh, that's a good question. Which school is a curling powerhouse? Well, duh. It's got to be Maine. University of Northeast South Maine. Hello. I'm talking about Blue Bloods. I think of Kentucky and Kansas. Do people really mention UConn with them? Sure. Why not? It's all cyclical. I mean, Kentucky hasn't... Dude, Kentucky's kind of down right now. Kentucky isn't really thought of, and it's like AJ said yesterday, Kentucky doesn't have a ton of money. AJ made a really good comparison of Kentucky being like Alabama in a lot of ways. They don't have a ton of money, right? They don't have a ton of money to spend on NIL. They've always relied on recruiting and being a blue chip destination. And Ashton said Google Trends about to respond with, what you talking about? So yeah, Cal 1 chip and 57 lottery picks, not good. What? University of Sheboygan. Oh, there you go. Good curling school. Yeah, there's a good curling school. Sheboygan. Curling dominance coming out of southern Utah State. It's always the directional schools that have good curling. That's a fact. You want to go to Northeastern Alaska University. Great curling school. Absolutely. Stephen, another guy said the Colonel from KFC isn't stepping up for Kentucky basketball. Calgary Institute of Curling. There you go, Dubs. A kid from the Val. Men's college ball sucks. Didn't even watch the game. Didn't care. Well, that don't mean it sucks. It just means you didn't like it. I mean, I watched it. It wasn't great. It's not like I was glued to it. It was a good game. It wasn't. I don't think it was one of the best games ever, but I thought it was a good game. It wasn't terrible. It was okay. All right, chat. For those of you that watched the game last night, a kid from the Val said, bro, I grew up in the J.J. Redick era. Okay, this era sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck. It doesn't suck. Bro, I grew up in the Michael Jordan era. What are we talking about? It doesn't suck. I mean, I grew up in the Georgetown / Five Slamma Jamma era. I grew up with watching Elijah Wan and Ewing. I grew up watching Jordan. I grew up watching Fab Five. I grew up in all those eras. What are we talking about? But every era is different and has its own pros and cons. And I'm with you. Donna said it was nothing like the women's finals. True. So let's do this, chat. For those of you that watched it, now, a kid from the Val, you don't get to vote because you already said it sucks, so you're biased. For those of you that watched it, I want you to rate it in the chat. Rate it in the chat 1 through 5. Rate the men's finals. I'm watching you, kid. No voting from you. Rate in the chat 1 through 5 what you thought the finals was. 5 being the best men's finals college basketball game you've ever seen. 1 being one of the worst you've ever watched. Damn, 2 1s? Really? That's harsh. CC said 3 cause money. Well, are negatives allowed? No, Steven, negatives aren't allowed. Listen to the kid. Kid is so proud right now. He's like, yeah. Oh, bunch of haters. Bunch of haters. Chris and I watched Raw instead. No interest in those teams. Boy, you guys are tough. Tough crowd. Ugh, tough crowd. Tough crowd. Ian said I watched it last night. Well, what'd you rate it, Ian? I don't see you put. Oh, Ian put a 1. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, tough crowd. Ugh, tough crowd, I tell you. Tough crowd. Drake gave it a 4. Okay. Oh yeah, I gotta go check on my bets. I ended up placing some bets. Adam said I'm 71, so I went to school with OJ Simpson. You actually went to school with the juice, or like in the era of the juice? You actually went to school with OJ Simpson. Oh, so I was 1 for 1 on my bets. I had a 2-person parlay. Ugh. Ick.
Heck yeah!
No, heck no! Heck no, you! Yo, kid, appreciate you, man. Yo! A kid from the Ville gave out a community sub, man. Thank you, good sir. Much appreciated, my friend. Much appreciated. Adam Wetstein said, yes, I went to Southern Cal. Well, there you go. Look at that. All right, so it looks like if I'm doing my due diligence, that's still a great video. I need to go back and find the, here, I'm going to write it down real quick. Let's go. Let's see how many we got here. We got a 1, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A 2 or a 3? I'm gonna go 3. 3, 1. If you do 3.5, that's a 3. Alan. No damn halves over here. Got a 4 and a 3.5. That's a 3. I should round up. Okay, so it looks like overall we got more 3s. So it was mid, and we got 1 4 mixed in. It was mid. That's what it was. Cisco said, fun fact, Alan Denson helped hang the first peach basket. Alan was there. It was just crooked because he was drunk. He made peach wine, and he was like, yeah, Al looks good to me. The first basketball game ever ended in a 1-1 tie because the basket was crooked because Alan Denson helped him hang it. Yeah, Al looks straight to me. Eamon said it was so boring, I went to the store before half with the wife and didn't even complain about it. Dang. A kid from the Ville says sports always needs a villain. Men's college ball had no villain. No, but it had a good story. Come on now. Big boy. This is why NIL matters, by the way. Did you see this? Darren Heitner tweeted this out a couple days ago. The villain was the white boy from Duke. The villain is always the white boy from Duke. Filipowski. The villain is always, it's like, who's the villain in college? It's just whoever the white boy is from Duke. You don't even need a name. You just got to say the white guy at Duke. People will know who you're talking about because you don't even need to give a name. It's the white guy at Duke. That's well pointed out, Dre. Well done, my friend. Well done. Well done. No, but this is a really cool thing. So DJ Burns made over $100K in deals in the last 3 weeks. He has agreements with Adidas, Barstool, CVS Pharmacy, DAPS. I don't even know what DAPS is. What is DAPS? DAPS is collectibles and experiences. Collectibles and experiences directly with athletes at your fingertips. Whatever happened? Remember when this show first started, folks? Back, some of you won't. Some of you are newer to the program. Adam Wetstein, here's the worst football team in North America. 31 winless seasons in 50 years, 6 straight winless. York University. What is this? Adam, what are you doing? Adam, what are you doing? I don't understand what you're doing. What was I going to say? You threw me off. That was weird. Don't worry, Barry. Next year's the ultimate great white hope. Cooper Flag. Okay. Yeah. What was that thing that I was buying? It was like NFTs. What the hell were those called? Top Shots or top something? Oh, it's a story suggested. Oh, look at that. Worst football team in North America. 31 winless seasons. So they're worse than Sam Houston? I got to look this up. Here is the worst. I looked this up. North America. York University. All right, I got to check this out. York University. York University football. I'm on it, Adam. Thank you. PV.
Heck yeah.
PV is worst, I think. No, they were for a while. Hey! Steven, thank you for gifting a sub, buddy. USC, but wasn't it Top Shots? I haven't even looked at those in forever. Are those things still worth anything? Are those Top Shots still worth anything? I don't even know. I don't even know if I still have my Top Shots. I mean, I should go log in and see. I don't even remember. I don't even remember paying like. I remember we were staying in line. It was like me and House and White Magic and KD were buying them. And it was like, oh, what is this? Add a new login method to your Dapper account. What? We've blocked your account? What? I want my Top Shots. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Yeah, that's what it is, Dubs. Those stupid sports card clip things. Oh, yeah, they were NFTs. Yeah, White Mike was on those things. Anyways, what was I going to say? Oh, so he's got Manscaped, Raising Cage. Dude made a ton of money. And what I love about it is this whole NIL thing. That's what it's all about. I mean, really and truly, this is why NIL exists, because when you think about how much money the tournament makes, right? How much money it brings in off the backs of the athletes. And then you think about the popularity of the athletes and how fun guys like DJ Burns made the tournament, right? Where, look, some folks just wanted to watch because of a DJ Burns. It was like, hey, I just like watching old big boy play. That's fun. And then you lose interest in it because you don't get to watch him play. And so he was an attraction. He should get paid for that. And he did. So pretty cool. Pretty cool that he got that money for his NIL deal. So good for him. Top Shops pulled a Steve Miller. Took your money and run. Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. How many athletes went hungry and homeless because the NCAA robbed them? Yes, they did. Those stupid. Okay. I sold a Luca for $1,600. Bro, I should have done that. I can't even log into them. By the way, my wagers from last night. You win some, you lose some. So I parlayed something with AJ because I didn't like the value I was getting on what did he say last night? What did he say on this fine program? He had us taking Edie under 24.5. I couldn't. All they had was under 23.5, and it wasn't at a good number. And first half under 68. And I saw first half under 67.5 for minus 120. First half under 68 was minus 135. And I was like, yo, that's a lot. First half minus 168, or first half minus 68 at 135, at minus 135 was expensive. First half under 68 minus 135 was expensive. So what I ended up doing was first half under 67.5 at minus 120. And I tell you what, first half ended up being 66 points. And when old boy at the last second heaved that ball three-quarter court, it looked like it was going in, and it was 36-30. And I was like, no! And then it missed, and I was like, oh. So I basically lost $1.27 last night because I bet 10 and won 833, and then I bet another 10 on this parlay where I had Mason Gills under 5.5 and Trey Kaufman ran over. Or sorry, I had Mason Gills over 5.5 and Trey Kaufman ran under 5.5. They both play the same position for Purdue. AJ was in my ear because I was like, man, this Edie under 24.5 ain't happening. He goes, I kind of like that Gills over 5.5 and ran under. I was like, well, let's parlay it then. Didn't happen because Gills didn't get over his 5.5. Didn't happen. In fact, if you're curious, if you would like to see the box score, we can make that happen. Here's the box. We'll see the box score. Kaufman Wren had 4 points. Gillis had no points. Played 24 minutes. And that's what AJ was right about that. He said Gillis is probably going to play more points. So he liked that over 5.5. And he ended up playing more points than Kaufman Wren, but he ended up not scoring at all in the game. And a couple thoughts on the game, and then we'll move on. We'll get to the other headlines that I have. But just a couple thoughts on the game in general. Edie is a big, tall dude, right? He's a big, tall dude. But one thing you see in basketball a lot that they talk about big, tall dudes is, just get in their chest. You go right at a big, tall dude and get in their chest, and that causes problems. Well, another thing that causes problems is if you're quicker than them, if you move with them. And that's what we saw with Edie, is that dude was unable to keep up with the ball movement that UConn had. They would get in the lane, and that dude they alley-ooped him to death. You know what I mean? The ball movement and the passing from UConn was just too much for him to defend down low. And once UConn really started feeling it and settled down, and it was crazy because it was right after that slam. Who was it? Who had that big putback? It was, who was the kid on Purdue that had that putback? Was it, I forget who it was. Was it Smith? I don't remember who it was, but somebody had a nasty, nasty putback. And it was kind of like, that was the last big moment that they had. And then after that, it was just all UConn. But I think Eddie was like, yeah. He was it. Like he was Purdue. I mean, the dude had 37 points. That was all of Purdue's offense, really. I mean, he had 37. The rest of the starters had what? 9, 21? Well, let's just look at it another way. He had 37. The team as a whole had 60. What? That's just not going to get it done. That's just not going to get it done in a national title game. You've got to have other folks stepping up. And especially as deep as UConn is. So UConn was better in every way. And just relentless too. You could tell, I think Purdue once UConn kind of started putting it on them, you could tell by the body language that Purdue was like, damn, is this really happening? Damn, we just can't stop them. Edie even got a little frustrated. You could see he was getting winded and tired. And then when you have a team that has another 7-footer that can go out there and kind of give them a taste of their own medicine, because not a lot of teams in college could do that, but UConn could. So they were kind of built for any moment. You know what I mean? If UConn was going to face a team in the finals that had good guard play, they were built for that. So if they were, they would have had to face the Cougars in a semifinal matchup. They were built for that. If they had to face a team with a big man, they were built for that. So UConn was ready for anything in this tournament, and it obviously showed. So 75-60 was your finals. Your final, and it just wasn't close going down the wire in the second half. And again, 4 starters in double figures for UConn. Not a ton of play off the bench. I mean, one player off the bench in double figures in minutes, but the starters go most of the way for UConn, and why not? Hell, why not? So. Sorry you guys didn't enjoy the game, but hell, and I'm a guy that doesn't even like college basketball. I'm not a college basketball fan. But I think having a little money on the game also had me interested, because I sure was. Amos said every time I saw Gillis, he was getting up off the floor. But I sure was interested. I'm like, score! Would you just put the ball in the basket? So maybe I was a little more interested in it because of that. Steven said, I kept thinking they were talking about Star Trek Klingon every time they talked about the UConn guy. Oh, okay. I get it. Hey, what's up, Joe Pro? Good to see you, buddy. Joe Pro said, good afternoon, Mr. Laminack. Hello, deckheads. Glad to see the powers on it. Casa del Laminack. Is it raining? Is it raining? Yeah. Julie Noki does the funniest YT videos on NFTs. Is she the one that does like the SEC thing? Is she the one that does oh no, that's not her. Who's that chick that does the ones where she's like, all right, it's a SEC like wrap up where she's all the different teams in the SEC. She's funny. She's real funny. She's super funny. Man, I can't believe you sold a Luca for $1,600, Jerry. Why didn't I get out when the getting was good? Dadgummit, man. I should have listened. All right, your other headline before we move on to some other matters. Your other headline for the day. Tiger says he thinks he can win if everything comes together. Do we really think Tiger Woods can win the Masters, guys? Is this... Yes, happy Masters Week, CC. I know you love you some golf. Let me pull up the Masters odds. I guess I should look on Bovada, huh? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yes. I'll have a website too. Bleacher Report, USA Today. The Augusta Chronicles. Masters picks, predictions, odds, best bets. That's interesting. The Augusta Chronicle. Okay. This is a little easier to read. I don't hate this. Where's Tiger? Everybody's going to want that, so I just need to find it on this paper, on this page, sir. Sir! Found it. Okay. Here we go. Here is your Masters odds coming up this weekend. Starts Thursday. In case this is not in order, is it? Oh, yes, it is. Okay. I was like, what? I'll zoom in and make it a little more reader friendly for your phone. What the heck? I don't want to print that. Get it out of here. Scram, beat it, kid. These are the odds from BetMGM. Scotty Scheffler plus 400. Rory McIlroy plus 1,000. John Rahm plus 1,200. And Xander. Who? I don't even know who the hell that is. Xander Shuffle. I don't know who that is. Plus 1,400. Brooks Koepka plus 2,000. Hideki Matsuyama plus 2,000. Jordan Spieth plus 2,200. Joaquin Niemann plus 2,800. If you're wondering where's Tiger Woods at, he is plus 15,000 to win the Masters. But if everything comes together, look, this is a win if Tiger's playing on Sunday. That's the bottom line. Tiger's not winning the Masters. All right. And I know we all want Tiger to win the Masters. We all would love for Tiger to win the Masters. Tiger Woods is not winning the Masters, folks. That's just, that ship has sailed. We're way past that. But it would be fun just to get him to Sunday. And it would be like, yay, we could watch him play for 4 days at the Masters. That'd be groovy. That'd be great. But there's a reason he's plus 15,000. And that your favorite is plus 400. And who did I say that was again? I don't even remember. That's how bad my memory was. Scotty Scheffler. There's a reason Scotty Scheffler is plus 400. So, again, it would be a great story, but it's just a win if he stays healthy. What did he make it? What he made it to? What, the 7th hole of the first round the last time he played? So no, I'm not gonna get my hopes up. And plus 15,000 is not good. I wonder what Bovada has it at. Let's see. They've got Scotty Scheffler at plus 450. Oy, that's a little close. Yeah, they got Scheffler at 450. John Rahm at plus 1,200. They had McIlroy at plus 1,000. Well, they got McIlroy at plus 1,200. Koepka, let's see. Tiger Woods, y'all. What do they got Tiger at on here? Do we see Tiger? Huh? Do we? Show less. Oh, dang. Vijay Singh still plays? Plus 250,000. And so you're telling me there's a chance? Glad he got to see it with you. What? Oh. Flips of their soccer on right now. Sean. Oh, good. Golf and baseball. I can win the lottery if all the numbers I get get pulled. See, that's exactly right, Cisco. I could win the Masters if everything comes together perfectly. Steven Weather Guy, no, I got to go in Thursday, but I have the big TV. Steven Weather Guy, also your picks were amazing. Thanks for oh yeah, your Steven's Eclipse picks were amazing. Those are on the Discord, right, Steven? Golf is still hanging on to Tiger. Oh, golf. Golf is still hanging on to Tiger like the NBA holds on to LeBron. Pretty much. Was Tiger on this? I don't. There he is. Tiger's plus 17,500 on Bovada. Ugh. Dang, Ricky Fowler. Man, Phil's plus 15,000. It's so funny because, like, I used to follow golf really closely and then just get away from the sport and don't really follow it all that much and don't really care about it all that much. And then you come back to it and you're like, some of those names that you remember and you're like, wow. It's kind of, it shocks the system when you go away for a while and come back and then realize, holy cow, all these names that I remember being great are now not. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to see that, but I mean, only thing is seeing Rory at plus 1,000 and getting him at plus 1,200 over here makes me go, Little bit of value. Little bit of value. Oh, you did? Okay. Where'd you post it at? Oh yeah, I made you a weather channel, didn't I? Yes, I did. Yes, I dang sure did. You're welcome. Oh no. No, where'd you post it at? General? Oh, time lapse. I'll download that. Yup. Oh, that was such a. Oh, Lisa had a really cool pic too. Yeah, Lisa had a really cool pic. Where's yours at, Steven? There we go. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. This was a couple of Steven's pics. Look at that. Look at that. Get a little zoomy zoom there. That's pretty dope. This was Lisa's photo. That's pretty slick, actually. That's pretty slick. I kind of came in and shoop, 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 shoop. That's pretty dope. That's a really good shot right there, Steven. And then Steven also had a video for us. Time-lapse video. I'm going to add that here. Check this out. This was, I swear, Steven, if this is a nudie video that you've slipped in somehow, I'm going to be so angry with you. Oh, I'm going to be so mad at you. Uh-oh. Okay. I was like, uh-oh, that's not working. That's 117. All right. Trying to do this on the fly, guys. Sorry. Here you go. Here's a video, time-lapse video of the eclipse from Steven, the weather guy. How long is this? Oh, it's only 18 seconds. There you go. Dang, that just happened like that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. It's just feel like it just got dark like super fast. Just like rolling along, and all of a sudden it just. How fast did you speed this up, Steven? Huh? How fast was that sped up, buddy? Thank you for sharing, by the way. Much appreciated. Your your photos were really cool. How fast did you speed that up? He said it was sudden. The one with the dudes got played in the live TV in some other country. Oh, that's funny. You can see flares with the naked eyes around the edges. That's crazy. I don't know. It's just an iPad sets time lapse. Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw one photo. Fake news. All I saw was clouds. I saw one photo from ABC 13 with the what's it called? The eclipse. And when they showed the photo, you could see flares coming out from behind the sun. It was pretty cool. I was like, wow, that's pretty dope. There's a guy on Instagram. I don't know his name or his handle. Oh, Billy. I love you. So I gotta download this, y'all. I gotta download this. Let's see. Instagram. Because you need the audio with it. I love Billy D. Y'all know Billy D's my boy. Y'all go follow Billy D on Instagram, please. Please. Hold on. Let me get you his Okay. Ooh. The heck was that? All right. Here's Billy D's Instagram. Please go follow him as I grab this. Here it is. Please go follow Billy D on Instagram because I'm going to download this video and play it for you. This is so funny. And this is in case you missed the eclipse. In case you missed it, Check this out.
In case you missed it, here we go.
I love Billy D, man. He is so damn funny. Where is this? I know I follow. Oh, well, I'm on the wrong account. I can't find it. There is some dude who does like solar photography. He does like I guess it's space photography. And I guess I could switch accounts, but it's gonna make me log in and go through all this rigmarole. It's really dope though. It's like really cool. It's really cool. I'm going to go to my Authenticator app. It is, I bet he's going to have some really, really cool stuff. Uh-oh, I sent it to the email you posted. Up above there. Was there supposed to be a dot between your first and last name, perhaps? Yeah. I think I checked. I forget my alerts are off. Well, that'll do it. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. Well, let me what time is it? 3:15. All right, I have to resend this email real quick, everybody. I apologize. There was some slight confusion. He sent me the wrong email address. So I will be sending this again. I'll be forwarding this to good times. Good times. Come on. God bless. Would you just cooperate, please? Okay. Let's just move on. I'll find it. All right. All I know is my watch was buzzing saying my heart rate was too high. Oh, during the eclipse? Oh, were you getting a little excited? Were you getting a little jazzed up? Yeah, well, it happens. But yeah, there's a solar photographer. I gotta find it, but I guarantee if I run across this post at some point, I'll grab them and I'll post them on the show, and we'll take a look see. Oh, look, there he is right there. Look, yeah, no worries, dude. No worries. I'm so glad I turned my notifications on because I was just like, well, let me just see and make sure everything is gravy. Good thing I did. All right. A couple things we did the Billy D video. Close. Got that screenshot out the way. Now, Stephen, the weather guy, said, my favorite moment was my son taking off his glasses and seeing it and screaming. He's 5. Oh, that's great, dude. He took off his glasses and looked at it? Well, that's not smart. Was he, Trump? Watching ABC 13 Live, it appears a lot of folks got real emotional watching it. I don't understand that, but hey, yeah, apparently, like, people in, were you talking about, like, yesterday, Donna, when they were showing, yeah, there were people, like, crying in Mexico. I was like, okay. Hey, what's up, Brian Petty? Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for being here, my friend. Welcome, man. Welcome, man. It's good to see you. During totality, you look without glasses. Oh, for real? I didn't know that. That's neat. You can't see totality with the glasses. Oh, well, excuse me, fancy pants. I don't know all the rules of your dumb eclipse. Okay. I feel like you're just chastising me now. I feel like you're just over here showing off with your fancy totality rules. Eric Christina said, my wife said I was weird because I don't really care about it. Yeah, I'm the same way. Nora was like, did you go outside? I was like, no, it was cloudy. You should have went outside. You could still see it. Like, it was cloudy. You can't see it. You could have seen it. If you put on the glasses, you could see it through the clouds. She doesn't say synced it. I'm just making her sound like that. But I was like, babe, I'm not going outside. It was cloudy. Well, you could have seen it. I was like, no, I wasn't doing that. And besides, I just didn't care that much. Dico Suave, what's up, man? Good to see you, buddy. Dico said I was waiting for the world to end. There was a lot of people. I saw somebody post this on Facebook, and I was like, were people really prepping? Somebody said, and I quote, well, what are you guys going to do with all the extra food you bought? And I was like, blah, blah, blah. What? People were stocking up? People were actually out here stocking up? Why? What was the reason for stocking up? I don't understand that. People really thought this was like a world coming to an end type event or something, I guess. I don't know. It was weird though. It was very strange. It was very odd. I didn't quite get it. You know what I mean? Like it didn't make a ton of sense to me. But and speaking of preppers though, I've got to share. Can I share a road story with you guys? I really didn't do this yesterday, and I normally share comedy road stories with you. Stephen, the other guy said I can totally see how 1,000 years ago people probably thought it was the apocalypse. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I could see you said 1,000 years ago. I could see I could see 100,000 years ago where people might think it's the apocalypse. But 5 days ago, you're a moron. Like, you're a dumbass if you're just like, oh, the eclipse is coming. Now, I will say, like, birds got confused, apparently, and they were, like, flying into trees and stuff. They were just like, what? It just all of a sudden got dark. Could you imagine? Could you imagine you're just flying along, you're just, I'm a bird. Hey, who turned out the lights? What? That would suck. That would suck. During totality, it felt weird and ominous and eerie, like when there's a super bad thunderstorm in the middle of the day. Oh, I could see that. I stocked up because they told us there was going to be this flood of people in town and that the stores might not be fully stocked. Oh, okay. What's up, Brian? Brian said my kid had a half day of school yesterday. I mean, that's fine. Like, I know some businesses, like the Some businesses gave their employees the day off to go watch it. I'm fine with that kind of stuff. That's cool. Yeah, you're a cool business for doing that. But stocking up and prepping, get gas for the generator, Martha. The world's ending. Like, what? But it's not. Well, it might. No, it might not. Not unless someone launches a nuclear weapon during the eclipse. It's not. Jared said my mom watches prepper YouTube videos and drove to Florida to get as far away from it as possible. Is your mom a prepper, Jared? Oh, really? Oh, that's fantastical. Well, that leads me to a road story, a comedy road story that I'm going to share with you guys. I had a gig Saturday out in San Marcos. I was out in San Marcos, Texas. If you don't know, San Marcos is between Austin and San Antonio. It's a quaint little town. It's where Texas State University, I believe, is. I believe it's Texas State. Another road story of Barry breaking preconceived notions. What does that even mean? It gets the people going. They have money and guns buried inside of PVC pipes at their house. They have no idea where they. Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Hey, eat them up, cats. No, not WO in a black fraternity. It's not that. Good Party City. Yeah. No, that's who we need on the show. All right, so here's the story. Okay, so I booked this gig at a place called Ragnar's on the Compound. That's the name of the place that I'm performing. Ragnar's on the Compound. And I don't know anything about this. Hold on, let me see. Live doing my show will hit you back after 5. You know, it's like people don't know. And I love all my friends and everything. But it's like, bros, I'm doing my I almost cursed so bad. Oh, I almost cursed so bad. It's like, gosh, come on, y'all. So this was interesting. This was the website when I looked it up. Ragnar's on the Compound. Ragnar's on the Compound. There's your boys' date, April 6th. All right. Now when you go there and you look at the gallery, and there's no gallery. Okay. You can go to the Facebook page. No, it wasn't a Renaissance festival. You don't really see a lot, but you can go to some of the photos and you start to scroll back. And what you start to realize is that, well, they've got some little person wrestling. They've got stand-up comedy coming in. Oh, that was funny. That was Son with his, I'll get to that in a second. Basically, I can't find the photos of it. Let me see if it's on the, yes. There's some of it. There we go. Basically, it used to be a death metal venue. And then they were like, let's do comedy. And so they started doing comedy. So they have only been doing it for like 3 or 4 weeks. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm turning this back on. So I did my due diligence on it, and I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. So I show up, and look, I will tell you that, you know, some gigs that you do are big and fancy and spectacular, and you make a ton of money. And then some gigs that you do are not big and not spectacular, and you don't make a ton of money. But those gigs oftentimes end up being the most fun. And I'm going to, hold on. Where is it? Here it goes. I want to share. Let's see. This might work. Oh, it's not going to work now. Oh, of course you're not going to work. Oh, well, maybe it will. Oh, maybe so. So I pull up, and the first thing that happens is there are 2 gentlemen in jail pose as I round the corner out in a field. And I was like, oh, yep, we're smoking meth. We are definitely smoking meth today. And so that scared me a little bit. And then I pull up. Hold on. This is taking too long. Gosh, I'm trying to tell this and make these. Okay. So I pull up. Now, my buddy Sun Tran is going with me. He's the feature act, and I'm headlining. Okay, 12 through 5. All right. And I'm getting pictures for you guys. This has to be done with photos. It's the only way this works. Sorry. This has to be done with photos. If you were on my Insta, you may have seen this already. And if you weren't, then it's worth it. Trust your mans. Trust your boy. This is worth it to see the photos. The photos. It is totally worth it. Okay. Here we go. Now, oh. What? This is not cooperating well. Nothing. This is why I need a producer. This gets on my nerves so bad sometimes. Can we just start over? Can I just kill the whole show and start over, please? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I get to Ragnar's, and Son texts me from, he's there first, right? And he goes, hey, Barry, is this, are we, Steven said, oh, I saw the pictures on Twitter. Wasn't this the bar rescue show before? I don't know if they did a bar rescue there. But he goes, Barry, I'm a little concerned. And I said, why are you concerned? And he goes, this place has goats. And I said, excuse me? And he goes, this place has goats. And they did. So I pull in, and it's literally, the place is called Ragnar's on the compound. And it's literally a compound. And it's got a bar and a house, and it's got a big field with a stage in it where they do death metal concerts. And the bar has a stage where they do concerts. And it's just a huge compound. It's got a recording studio. And so I'm out there, I pull up and I see the goats, and I go and I'm sitting at a table with Son, and we're talking, and the owner comes out and introduces himself, and he goes, hey, my name's Stat. And I was like, who? He goes, Stat. And I was like, what? He goes, Stat. I was like, Steve? He goes, Stat. I was like, what? He goes, Stat, like the hospital, like, bring me a scalpel, Stat. I was like, stat, like a statistician, like a sports statistics, like a stat. He goes, stat. I was like, stat. He goes, stat. I was like, wow. What's up, Stat? So I was like, Stat, you have goats. He goes, I have goats. I was like, Stat, that's insane. He goes, you want to hold one? I was like, well, hell yes, I want to hold a goat, Stat. He goes, you want to hold a goat? I was like, yes, I want to hold a goat, Stat. So Stat goes and gets a goat for me to hold. I'm here to tell you right now, holding a goat was one of the funnest things. It was fantastic. They're the cool. I was like, I don't know about this. Bro, I want a goat. I'm going to tell you right now. Damn these cats. I want a goat. I want a goat. I want a goat. And every time he yelled, he'd go, ah, and when he did, he would stick his entire tongue out. Ah, and that's all he did the whole time was just scream. Ah. It was fantastic. And the whole time I was holding him, that's what he would do. He would just scream like you see on your screen. He would just scream the entire time. And we vibed. We had a good time together. That was me and that goat. Just hung out for a bit. Cisco said if there wasn't pics of you holding a goat, I would say you were lying, Mr. Germaphobe. Yeah, I wanted to hold a goat though, dude. They were, and they had big Billy goats. Like they had big goats. Like I didn't make all of the photos into slides that I had. And there were some big ass goats. Let me see. My wife said some of these photos looked photoshopped, which I agree. But like this is one. You can see the horns on that goat. Look at the horns on that goat. They had some big ass goats, man. So Stat was like, "You want to hold a goat?" And I was like, "Yes." So then, I'm holding the goat. We're great, and it's cool. We take a bunch of photos with the goats, and let's see, we do a group photo. We do a group selfie. So that's Stat in the back there. You see the dude with the goatee. That's Stat. I'm gonna tell you stories about Stat here in just a second. That's Sun Tran up front on your right. I guess if you're looking at the screen, opposite of me. That's Sun Tran. That's my buddy. He's a comedian. He is also one of the writers for Barry on Sports when we had the TV show. That's me in the blue, and then that's a goat that I'm holding. That is a goat. Again, you can see he's yelling, ah, tongues out. And yeah, in the back, that's Stat, the owner. So Stat, Sun, Barry, goat. All right. Good times. And then they're just so, just a random goat chewing. Just a random goat chewing, and happened to just capture video of the random goat chewing. Just Just random goat chewing stuff. It was a lot of fun. Okay? It was a lot of fun. So we hang out with the goats. We're kicking it. And then we do the show. And there's not a lot of people there. There's maybe like 15 to 20, maybe. Sun goes up and he does like 30 minutes and a few people leave. Now they had been there since like 6 o'clock and the show didn't start until 8:30. And I guess they got tired and they were like, all right, we're leaving. And so the few people left. And then I get on stage. A few more people left. Some of them didn't like my comedy. I think I said some things that made them uncomfortable. But some people stayed and had a great time, and we had a good time. And one guy that left, I think, was a little uncomfortable with one of the jokes I do about getting hit on by a gay dude. And if you've been to a show, you've probably heard me do this joke. And there's a lot of turns in the joke, and I think it made him uncomfortable. And that's okay. We'll come back to him in a second. But we get done with the show, and my buddy Son Tran, we're all hanging out after the show, and Stat's like, man, what do you think about the place? I was like, well, I mean, I think goats are cool. And I think you had it's a huge place. And I mean, if you're serious about comedy, I think there's some things you could do to improve it. And he goes, well, I'm all ears. And so I gave him a bunch of advice, and we hung out and talked for a while, and Son was hanging out. And so Son finally goes, hey man, who pays us? And Stat goes, I'm going to pay you. And he goes, well, can we get paid? Son drives a Tesla. And he was like, I got to go get my car charged. Can I go ahead and get paid? And Stat goes, yeah, I can pay you. I'll be right back. Cool. And this is standard fare. This happens all the time. You do a show, you get done, there's some small talk, and then you usually go, hey, so can I get paid? I'm about to head out. Or do you pay me, or do I go get paid from somebody else? Or, hey, how do you want to settle up? You're going to pay check or cash, or you're going to Venmo me? How do we get paid? And then you get paid. Or sometimes they'll just come up and give you the money. It's not a big deal. But Son goes, so are you going to pay us, or how do we get paid? And Stat goes, yeah, I'm paying you. I'll be right back. And Stat leaves and he walks away. And Stat comes back with a real live whole ass chicken. And he puts the chicken in Son's lap. He puts the whole chicken in Son's lap and says, round here, we paying live chickens. You did a great job. Thanks a lot, Son. There's a better picture of the chicken that Son got paid with. It was so great. Son was just like, what is happening right now? This dude just plopped a chicken in my lap. It was hilarious. I mean, his son's face when Stat walked up with a chicken and just plopped it in his lap was absolutely worth the entire trip. He was flabbergasted. He had no idea what to do. It was so great. It was so great. So yeah, it was interesting, man. It was really crazy. And then I hung out and talked to Stat for a while, and he told me his whole story, and that dude lived a crazy life. He was out in LA forever in the music scene, and then he kind of came back, and he's trying to turn the compound into a comedy club. So pretty cool dude, man. Pretty cool story. Dig what he's doing out there, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and I think the moral of the story is, sometimes you do a show, and I've done theaters for hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands of people. I've done shows for thousands of people. I've been paid thousands of dollars, and some of those shows are just like, But then a show like that, where I think by the end of the night there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people in the room. It was the most fun, because the end of the night, the last 30 minutes of my set was me talking to the 9 people. We were talking about preppers, because the bartender, she's a prepper, and Stat's a prepper. So we were coming up with a dating app for preppers, and we were just having a great time. And I'm on stage while we're doing this. And it was just a lot of fun. I mean, we just had a really good time, and you just never know. You never judge a gig based off of the appearance, or because you just never know. Now, I will say, old me, me from 9 years ago would have pulled up and went, oh, this is going to be awful. And I wouldn't have given the gig a chance. But new me is like, I can pretty much handle whatever you throw my way, so I'm not worried about it. And I can give these kinds of gigs a chance and just roll with the punches and have fun with it. And that's exactly what we did. And it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. And yes, we did get paid, Donna. Donna was like, did you really not get paid? No, we got paid. We absolutely got paid. Come on now. You think I'm rolling and not getting paid? Girl, please. Child, please. I don't know what that means. Steven said, please tell me you brought your chicken home to Nora. We didn't actually get paid with chickens. I got paid cash. No, Steven, I know you really want to force that joke in here, but this is not that. This is not that moment. You've made the joke now a couple of times, and it's just not that joke. It's not that. But it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. And I never thought I would want a goat, and I absolutely want a baby goat. It was the coolest thing. And Steve said, how many goats? I don't even know. It was a lot. It was a lot of goats. Now, side story, okay? The one guy that left the room, that I guess I made him uncomfortable with my little jokes. I gave Stat my number and said, hey, if you have questions later, hit me up. Well, I get a text from Stat the next day, and he goes, hey, did you used to be on the radio? And I was like, yeah. Barry the Goat was talk to you about sports. That's funny, Brian. Yeah, Stat texted me and goes, did you used to be on the radio? I was like, yeah, I was on ESPN for 7 years. Why? What's up? And he goes, well, you remember that dude that left? I was like, yeah. He goes, when he found out who you were, he was pissed. And I was like, what? He said that they came back the next day and they were talking about the show. And the bartender, Crystal Ann, mentioned your name, said Barry Laminack, and he goes, who? And he had got super mad, and he goes, who? And she said, Barry Laminack, and he goes, what? He goes, from ESPN Radio? And she goes, I think so. And he goes, I hate that guy. And he was like, what? And he goes, I got in a fight with him on the radio about something. So apparently this dude is from Beaumont, and he goes way back, and he and I apparently had a big old fight on the radio about something, and I have no idea what it was about. But he found out, and he was so mad. I was like, well, I don't even know what it was about, but okay. But what was funny is the night of the show, I'm already home. But the night of the show, he was so drunk, he didn't even realize it was me. It was the next day. It was Sunday. I'm home. He's there. And he was like, what? That's who was on stage last night? They're like, yeah. He was like, oh, man. I don't know if he was going to want to fight me or what, but he was apparently not happy that it was me. He was an angry, angry man. Angry man. No, that wasn't him. No. Dub said, I was hoping it was the guy you told to S his son's D. No, it wasn't that guy. No. Hey, what's up, Jeff Bell? Good to see you, buddy. Yes, sir. Hey, real quick, Jeff Bell, thank you for the $5 super chat. And sure, why not? Shout out to Jeffrey Jr. Jeffrey Jr., man, happy birthday to your brother. He turns 12 today. What? Yo, Jeff Jr. turning 12 today. Man, you're practically driving. In fact, Jeff Bell Sr., pull over. Let that man drive. All right? If you're not driving, go get the keys and let this man take you for a drive, okay? 12 years old, it's time to drive. It's practically driving time. So, sorry, Pops, but this is the new order now, okay? Let Jeff Jr. drive the car. I think so, right, Junior? I think that's where we're at. I don't know. I'm just trying to cause problems, really, at this point. That's what I'm doing. See what other guy says, Jeff Bell making that poor child be a Broncos fan. Probably. I'll have to catch most of the story on the replay. Dumb boss expected me to be available during work hours. Bleh. That stinks. I miss half the show most of the time. All right, we're going to take a break here in just a second. Because coming up at 4 o'clock, as I told you guys, coming up at 4 o'clock, I'm going to be joined by Nick Morrison. He is going to be joining me on the program from 4 o'clock till 5 o'clock. And we are going to... Yo, Homer Astros fan! Thank you for the 100 bits, buddy. Good to see you, man. Nick Morrison going to join me in about 10 minutes, and we are going to talk about how he got into comedy, talk about his rodeo career. You don't want to miss it. It is a crazy story. We'll talk about him being a motivational speaker. It's a wild story. So stick around for it. It's going to be a really interesting, fun interview. I think you'll like it. I was fascinated. We were having lunch the other day, and I was amazed at some of the stuff this dude was telling me. So I think you guys will enjoy it. It'll be a good time, good interview. So stick around for that. It's coming up, and I'll have a clip from him during the break that I will run. It's about a 4-minute clip. So I'll have that. It'll be a little bit of a comedy clip for you. What does it say? 12, time to give him the... Oh. Amos, you ain't ready for that, bro. You ain't right for that. Yeah, that's funny. Joe Rosetta got hiring. Rudy Rod. Oh, that I already read that one. Okay. Yeah, so Nick Morris is going to be joining me in about 10 minutes or so. Got the headlines out of the way real quick. I would be remiss if we didn't talk about this Astros debacle. For one, Uncle B. Jerome sent me this, and Donna said, "Oh, Mr. Pro, I heard it's a small world at work." What happened, Mr. Pro? Dude, this is so sad. So imagine your family goes to your MLB debut. They travel all the way to Arlington to watch you pitch. And you can't get nobody out. I think he got one out. But could you imagine? Oh, yeah, he got one out. You go 0.1 innings. You give up 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks. You throw 40 pitches, and you leave with a 135 ERA. Bruh. If you're Uncle B, Blair Henry, you gotta be feeling like, and especially his family, like, bro, they all made the trip. That's gotta suck, man. I mean, even if you don't get the win, even if it's not like, whatever. He's from the Dallas area. So what? They still like show up for your debut. Like they're all there. You get one out. Bro, I would just be like, man, I mean, I'm looking at his box score. Dog. Whole family in the stands. Got your nephew. Man, that just sucks, dude. And there's no doubt he'll settle in. He'll get another opportunity. I mean, he kind of has to. This is a MASH unit right now, it feels like. Somebody hit me up on Twitter and said, hey, Barry, why don't they go do something like get a Zach Greinke or something like that with the whole MASH unit feel that's kind of going on? And, I said, look, I think part of their problem is right now is really bullpen more than anything. Even though their starters haven't, I should say, the back end of their starting rotation has not held up like you had hoped. Hunter Brown hasn't done his job. I mean, Henley didn't do his. And, the offense has gone super cold at times, but the bullpen is just not. You go out and get Hader, and the first chance he gets to save a game, he was being used at times when he wasn't even getting a save. First save opportunity he gets, he blows it. Presley hasn't pitched like Presley that we know. Abreu hasn't been the same. So I think a lot of those guys, they'll round into form and they'll be fine. But right now, you don't have that bridge. You don't have the depth in the bullpen, and the guys aren't pitching like they are. So I think part of the problem is, some of it is starting pitching depth that's taxing the bullpen and causing them to have to get into it earlier. And some of it is the bullpen is not living up to the hype at the back end. I mean, remember before the season started when they got Hader, people were talking about, is this the new Dotel, Lidge, Wagner with Abreu, Presley, Hader? It's like, yeah, it could be that good. It is not that good right now, but it's super early. So it's not time to panic. You're going to get Verlander back. There's an opportunity you hope to if McCullers comes back. So I think they'll go out and they'll get an A1 at the deadline. I think that they know they're going to have to get an ace. I think you could see this team going out and making the move for an A1 at the deadline. If they're serious, we'll see. But right now, and look, let's see, let me go back here. I'm on the team page, and their numbers aren't terrible as far as like where they rank pitching wise. It's just, they haven't gotten it done. And it looked like that again yesterday. You start off, give up 5 runs in the first, but then everybody kind of locks it up and does their job. And so they did their thing. So, all right, it is 3:55. Coming up in just about 5 minutes, I'm going to be joined by Nick Morrison. He is going to be my guest for the 4 o'clock hour. We're going to chop it up. Y'all know how we do it when I have guests on the show. There's no real plan. We just chop it up and talk and shoot the breeze until 5. And that's what we're going to do. We'll talk comedy. We'll talk rodeo. We'll talk bull riding. We'll talk how he got into it. We'll talk the trials and tribulations and everything else that goes along with it. And yeah, we'll shoot the breeze, like I said, until 5. So don't miss it. It's a fascinating story, and one I promise you won't want to miss. So stick around. We're going to take about a 5-minute break, and then we're going to come back and get into it. So I'm going to run some music for a minute, and then I'm going to run a clip from Nick that I think you guys will enjoy from a set he did. Well, it's a bit he sent me. And then we'll get into it. So stick around. This is Barry on Deck. I'm your host, Barry Laminack. As always, when I run a break, do not go anywhere. You do not want to miss the rest of this show. I'm Barry. Come right back. Don't miss it.
Around their house, and he found a Colt 45 pistol, the people that lived there, and he never checked if it was loaded. He starts walking around the house, everybody going, I'm a cowboy, look at me, and he shoved it in his pants, and the gun went off. Now, if you're saying to yourself, yes, where there was 2, there is now 1. Ranch speak, he's now half bull, half steer. City speak, he's now half Bruce Jenner, half Caitlyn Jenner. And that's not where the smart choices ended. They took him to the hospital, and they said, sir, we actually need to replace this with a prosthetic. I did not know that was a thing, but apparently it's enough of a thing, they gave him choices. And they said, sir, we can make this prosthetic, we can make it out of wood, we can make it out of plaster, we can make it out of steel, we can make it out of silicone. He said, whoa, back up. Did you just say I can have balls of steel? So now poor Rusty has more bad pun nicknames than he deserves. So fast forward to me getting to know old Lefty, because I didn't know Lefty pre-twofer. I only knew him post-onefer. I met him at a conference I was speaking at, and I was like, you know what? He needs a positive influence in his life. He really needs someone to point him in the right direction, and plus, I can get some great stories with him around. So I told him, I said, why don't you fly with me? I'm flying out of here. I got some places I got to go speak, and I got to drive a bunch. Why don't you fly with me? You can help me drive, and I can pour into you, and it'd be really good for you. I was in Colorado a couple more days. The night before I fly out, I get a phone call, and it was Steel Magnolius himself. Some of y'all took a second on that one. He says, Nick, I'm a little nervous about the flying process. I said, I've never flown before. Is there anything I need to know about the check-in process? What's the one thing you have to walk through in airport security? A metal detector. What's the one thing our friend has? So I'm like, nope, you're good. I'll see you in the morning. I was like a kid before Christmas. I couldn't sleep that night because I knew what was about to happen. We get there that morning. I rush through airport security. Here he comes walking, sauntering through. Beep. Maybe it's my belt buckle. We all know it ain't his belt buckle. Walks through there again. Beep. Oh, maybe I got something on my pocket. He's not putting two and two together what's setting this thing off. They pull him aside and said, sir, we're going to need to examine you because you're setting off a pretty high metal content. So they pull him to the side. I'm on the other side of the check-in, and he's facing right at me. And I'm watching as they take the wand, and they go, beep. Beep. By the third pass, I noticed he puts two and two together because his eyes bugged out. He's like, beep, like that. Before he could say anything, the TSA agent leaned in and said, sir, are you trying to sneak something through this airport? And you know that moment when it's really loud? And so you speak really loud, but then everything goes quiet, so now you're screaming? In that moment, he goes, no, ma'am, I got steel balls. Now the whole airport's looking at him. Then he sees me. He's like, ask him. He knows me. Ask him. Tell him. Tell everybody. I got steel balls. Now the whole airport's looking at me. And I'm a good friend. So I'm like, I've never seen that man a day before in my life. In fact, I did see him in the bathroom on the other side. He was acting a little squirrely. You might want to strip search him. And I turned around and walked away. Is in that moment I realized maybe I'm not such a positive influence on this young man's life.
That's so fantastic. I'm your host, Barry Laminack. Thank you guys for sticking around through the break. That was Nick Morrison. He is a nationally touring comedian. He has videos online with millions of views. He shows in Vegas, all over the South. He is a husband, father, former professional bull rider. He's living with a serious brain injury as a result of over 36 concussions. You can check him out on his website, nickmorrisoncomedy.com. Also, his social media, all of it is at Nick Morrison Comedy. And I'm going to put both of those in the chat for you guys to go and follow and support. But without further ado, joining me on the program right now, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Nick Morrison. Nick, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, Barry. How's it going, buddy?
Good, man. Good. That was fantastic, dude. And you were telling me during our lunch, that is a real story. That is not, that happened.
It's a very true story. The only thing, and you know this in comedy, sometimes, something else happens. And so the airport happened with another friend of mine flying when he came to meet me. And so I got their permission, and so tell that story. But, in comedy, I learned this from Jim Gaffigan that, he tells stories that his brother happened to his brother. And so that's the only part of it that's a little bit off, is that the airport happened with someone else. But the entire story, 100% true. There's actually a whole other part of it that gets really funny where he was like, man, I don't see how God can care for me. And I said, well, pray that he shows himself to you, that you know that he cares for you. And now, no joke, almost every peanut he opens only has one peanut in the shell. I mean, it's happened over and over again. So
that is hilarious.
It just gets better and better.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing, dude. A lot of people don't realize, but you and I were talking about this. There's not a lot of, sometimes the truth is funny, but not always. And so comedy is rooted in the truth, but there's a ton of embellishment that has to happen for a story to actually be funny. That's just a fact. That's just, it's part of even growing up, when you would tell stories to your friends or when you tell stories to your family, we tend to put a little pizzazz on the story to make it, put a little flair on it. So yeah, it's
when you're writing, you'll sit and you'll think, what would be the funniest thing that could happen in this moment?
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, that you're going to write that in. What's funny about that steel ball story, though, is that all happened. It even got better. He actually got the steel ball taken out because he lives in Colorado and he likes to run. He said, first of all, it was swinging over and hitting its buddy, and so it was hurting a little bit every time he'd run. And then second of all, I don't know if you ever licked metal in the cold. You're in Houston, so it's not too cold there. But he said he'd have to pour hot water on himself sometimes after a run.
What?
So it's sweating. So he got it taken out. But here's what really surprises me about that whole story. About 1 out of every 4 or 5 shows, I'll have someone come up to the merch table afterwards and tell me somebody they know that has a steel ball. And so there's like a whole medical deal to it. I don't want to get to it on your show, but it's crazy when you dig into the history and why they put one of those in there. So it makes sense when you dig into it.
What are the options? You could get a steel ball. You could get like a.
So the reality is it's based on your age when you do it. Like if you steer a bull, they lose a ton of weight. And so, like, let's say someone has testicular cancer, or as a kid something happens and they lose that, they need to put something there for the subconscious to feel the weight, so it'll keep producing testosterone. So that's why there's a whole. It's amazing to me how many people actually have one, but based on age is how much weight you have to have. It's a whole. It's a rabbit trail that you can go down, and you'll find yourself at 4:00 in the morning trying to wash your eyeballs out with bleach, wondering why I just went down that rabbit trail.
I can totally see me going down that YouTube rabbit hole. And you know what it reminds me of? Every time I see that bit or we talk, it reminds me of The Jerk. What's okay, baby? You didn't know that was Iron Balls McLean. And
yeah, exactly,
every time.
I can't believe we haven't called him Iron Balls McLean yet. Oh man, we're adding that one to the names. Yeah, we're adding that one to the names list. Iron Balls McLean. I can't believe my favorite jerk. I do it every time. I drive my wife crazy because every time I'll be like, "Hey, I'm going to take this with me. It's all I need is just this mouse. That's all. Well, this mouse and this book, and that's all. Just mouse and this book. That's and I'll waste 20 minutes going through everything just because it's my favorite part of a whole movie is just that little brilliant bit that apparently was ad-lib, which makes it even better.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's why I read that somewhere. I don't quote me on that because, I read a lot and you can never trust everything you read on the internet. So.
Have you listened to his book, Born Standing Up? Have you or read it?
I actually have not. You're like just this week, you're like the third person that's told me I need to read that. So
got it. Oh, dude, I don't read. I mean, I can. I want to point that out. I can read. I just don't read. I just like to listen when I drive and go into gigs and stuff. And it's a great book. So highly recommend you check that out. And now apparently there's I just saw it. It might be on Apple TV, but there's or Max maybe, but there's a new, I guess biography or whatever about him or a documentary about him. So yeah, dude, The Jerk was one of my all-time favorite movies. Just so great. So many quotable lines.
I quote that and Dumb and Dumber probably more than any other movie. I
love Dumb and Dumber, but I'm kind of partial to Tommy Boy. I don't know why.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Anything Chris Farley is. He was a genius. Like, we're missing out on, like, if you break down what comedy is, like, he was a genius. Him, Mitch Hedberg, guys like that are just, and I say names wrong, I apologize. I've had a lot of concussions, so I say them wrong. But like guys like that, like their mind for comedy is on a whole nother level than even like you and I, who I consider a great comedian. You got a huge successful career, but it's really one of those things of, and we talked about this. You and I went to lunch the other day, and we were talking about all this and just how good like the elite comedians are, and how big of a jump it is from like just the really good comedians to those guys that are just they're on another level. And I never realized it until I started writing comedy and realizing how hard comedy is to write, and to write lots of material. And how these guys, it's like, it just comes out of them. It's just amazing how good they are,
Yeah, it's next level. Now, I think something I read that I think kind of stunned the chat a little bit is when I said that you had a serious brain injury as a result of over 36 concussions. So let's not just gloss over that. Let's start there.
And here's the best part about it. I say 36 because people don't believe how many I've really had. So on record, the neurology deal that I go through, to your memorial, they stopped counting at 50.
50 concussions?
Because I pass out a lot now, and so I'll hit my head when I pass out. And so they just told my wife, like, this is how you're going to find a concussion. Stop giving us $2,000-$3,000 every time you get one. This is what you need to do. And so they just finally stopped counting, like, because I've just your brain gets soft inside try to get inside the camera here. Your brain gets soft inside there, and so it becomes like Jello, pretty much. And so my brain, if I turn my head too far that way, I can get a concussion just doing that. Like, the more concussions you get, the easier it is to get them. And then so they just snowball on top of each other. And so after about 20, it just become like just I just, like, if my dog comes to play and jumps at my face and I throw my head back really fast, I'll knock me clean out. Nobody will touch me or nothing. It knocks me clean out because the brain is not stable inside the cranium anymore.
So you can't have any like sudden movements, or chances are you're just gonna. Wow.
I'll pass out. I had to stop playing golf because I bend over. I'll pass out a lot.
Can't even go to a haunted house anymore. That's
definitely not.
Yeah.
I can't ride horses anymore. I can't fish anymore. Like, I've had to really, like, everything I love to do, I just can't. I can't do it anymore. And so that's why I'm down in Houston and not on the ranch anymore, because, if I pass out off a horse up there, I'm miles from anybody. They ain't going to find me. And GPS, they're going to get you close. My aunt had a horse flip over on her and broke her neck, and she laid there for almost 2 days till they could find her. And they knew where she was because of her GPS. But it's just such rough terrain that they couldn't find her. Thankfully, they got her and she lived. But so it's more safe for me not to be up there. And I, as much as I love the cowboy lifestyle and how real life cowboying it is up there, it's just I have to be smart. I got 2 kids, and I want to be able to play with them and live with them. But I jumped ahead there. I know you was trying to back up there, so I'll let you.
No, that's great. No, bro, we ain't got no rules on this show. We just go where the conversation takes us, man. We can always go back. That's wild, dude, because that's a whole lifestyle that you have to really be concerned about in everything you do, right? Like, I mean. Yeah.
Most men, they walk into a room and they're like, okay, where's an exit? Where someone pulls a gun out? What can I do? I walk into a room and I'm like, okay, if I start to pass out, what's a wall I can fall against that's going to break my fall? Like, I'm always conscious of what's around me. Like, it's changed. Everything about everything I do has changed because of just the amount of concussions I get.
Do you ever
I actually had it happen on stage where just the room was spinning.
I was just about to say, do you ever worry about it on stage?
I do. So I have it written in my rider and in my contract where they have to have a stool on stage. And then what I'll do is I'll just sit down. If you see me sit down on the stool, this is a little insider for your followers or for people that know me. If I sit down on a stool and I'm doing comedy, I'm getting lightheaded. If I have my eyes closed, then the room's spinning and I'm just going through the motions and doing comedy, and I'm just trying not to puke my guts out on the stage at that moment.
Really?
And it's happened a couple times to me.
Damn. So I imagine there's the concern, you hear in sports, especially in football, there's the whole CTE conversation and traumatic brain injury. And I'm sure, and I guess they say you don't have CTE until you've passed, right? And then they go.
Well, they can't. You can have it. They can't test for it, right? Because to test for it, they have to take slivers of your brain. And CTE is pretty much the brain eating itself. It's pretty much that's the layman's term for it. It's pretty much the brain eating holes inside of itself. And so my neurologist is convinced I have, exactly. Because you have like these connectors, and every time you get a concussion, they disconnect, and they're sending signals to each other, but they're not connected. So complex deal of it just starts eating itself, and the brain starts getting holes in it. And that's why when they cut a sliver, you'll see, like if you look up a CTE brain, you'll see it looks like Swiss cheese. And my neurologist is convinced I have late stages of CTE. I've made it my when Hurricane Harvey hit, we lost our house, and I'm probably if any of my followers got on this, they've probably seen this before, but I'm actually writing a book about it because it's become my goal to really help people with concussions, but also to bring some light to people who have family members with concussion issues. Because about 6 years ago, Posey, he's a bull rider from up north, had his career end, and he went in a garage and wrote a note, said, use my brain for research. turned the car on and killed himself. And so at that time, you started seeing a lot of bull riders, but more their wives started all posting on Facebook, like, you don't understand the struggle that we're going through. Because guys, we don't want to talk about it, but then the cowboy mentality is even more, I don't want to talk about it. And so I'm finding out close friends. Like, I had a couple guys that we knew. I got a friend, Heath Ford. He's probably had 20, 30 concussions. His last 5 or 6 bucking horses he got on, he would nod his head and then knock him out. And he'd wake up. Houston Rodeos, he finished second at the Houston Rodeo, and they had to go find him in the locker room. He didn't have a shirt on. He was down to his skivvies and his underwear. They're like, Heath, you're in the final 4 round. You got to go get on your horse. He jumps out there and wins $30,000, finished second place. Doesn't remember any of it to this day. Him and I were down at the Houston Rodeo this year back behind chutes helping some guys, and we were laughing about it because, I mean, he's same age as me now, so that's years ago. So after Harvey, I actually just triggered and went and got a gun, tried to kill myself. And thankfully God had other plans. And then another time down the road, I work at a church as a director of ministries, which pretty much is glorified. I get to make people mad. And so some people got mad at me and they were ripping into me and calling me every bad name in the book. And I took it, drove home, no depression, no nothing, grabbed the gun and tried to do it again, and realized that with a concussion, it's like a check mark of something you have to do. Like, it isn't I feel sorry for myself, or you actually are doing it because you think I'm doing something that is going to help people. And it really, honestly, like, I would go home and I went and did the dishes, put the trash away, did all the stuff that was a check mark on my list of things to do, and then walked out by the pool and got the gun. And so I realized at that point, now I know where that line is. I've never got there again, but I've gotten to where I start moving that direction. And so I can't afford to let stress in. Like, I can't afford to let people's opinions. You and I were talking about this over lunch the other day of just, not letting, who are you trying to impress, the comedians in your local market, or are you trying to impress the other people? And that spoke volumes to me, because, I can't afford to take that stress on, because not because it'll lead me down depression, but because of how quickly it happens with a brain injury. And so I've dedicated my life to helping people with this issue. And I've been on the phone many times with a wife will call me and be like, hey, my husband, someone gave me your number. He's trying to kill himself right now, and talking them down from it, but knowing how to talk to them, because
that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Well, with concussions, the worst thing you can say to someone is, you don't want to do this. I know I don't want to do this, but yet everything in me wants to do this. Football players, you talk about football with CTE. Here's something that's really interesting they found. If you notice a football player gets a concussion, and they've got to practically tackle him to keep him from going on the field, because everything he wants to do is go back on the field. That someone else has to hide his helmet. Somebody else has to pretty much tell him no, because when you get knocked out and you have a concussion, there's something triggers in your mind of, I have to finish whatever it was I was doing. So, like, if I'm going to the trash and I pass out and hit my head on the counter and knock myself out, my wife can tell I got knocked out, because I'm knocking her over trying to get that trash in the can. Like, it's like everything I have to do. I cannot finish until I finish this task. She can't take it for me. I have to go do it. Wow. And it's like this thing that triggers. And so you see that a lot. So when you start to recognize those, that's why I'm kind of writing this book, is because I want you to see from the mind of someone who's had as many concussions as me. And the doctors think why I'm still so high functioning is because I have a very high IQ. I was on the Mensa scale as a teenager.
Oh, snap.
And so what? My brain is kind of adjusted. But all the damage is from my front right lobe. And the rest of the brain, they did this test where they, like, hooked me up, put me in this machine, and they would flash numbers in front of me or words, and then I would have to say what I thought it meant. If it's a picture, if it's a math problem, it would light up different parts of the brain. When it got to the front right lobe, it never lit up, but the rest of my brain lit up. And so they figured that my brain had adjusted itself. And so that's why I'm high function now. That and hard work. Like, I've had to work hard. I wake up like 2 hours. I spend 2 hours every morning doing brain exercises. If not, I'll be slurring. I'll be struggling, and but I have days where I have to shut down and be like, I can't do anything today.
Give me an example of, like, some of the brain exercises you do each morning.
So I vary them, and it'd just be anything, just apps on the phone. I'll do puzzles. I'll do Sudoku. I'll do Mahjong. solitaire, just anything that makes the brain think. And then I'll look up a dictionary and I'll just scroll through it and I'll just read out loud. And just the reading helps with the speaking, because if I don't do that, I'll start slurring and stuttering and things like that. Yeah.
Really?
Well, so I have to work hard every day. And when I go on stage, I really have to work hard ahead of time just to make sure.
I can't imagine. Like, I feel bad because I'm like, and dude, what's crazy is you don't use a set list. I have to take a set list on stage because I'm like, I'll forget what's next. Bro, I haven't had 50 concussions either. I'm just an idiot. I'm just an idiot.
I cheat.
You
can ask our mutual friend Royce Moore. He called me out at a show.
You keep it on the ground.
Our buddy Royce Moore called. Yeah, exactly. I hide him behind the speakers. Yep, yeah. And then he goes and calls me out at a concert.
That's an old school trick. Like, just put it on there.
Yep,
but you got to get there early.
Bob Smiley.
Listen, I don't get there early enough to do that. I just I just keep it on my phone, and that's why I always have a drink on stage. I ain't thirsty. That's just a way for me to go, I'm going to need a drink.
I only do it if I'm headlining, like if I have to do an hour or so. Yeah. I don't write my bits. For me, I've had to learn, I write the transitions. It's really weird. Most guys will write their bits. I write the transition, because if I can remember the transition, then I'll know what bit I'm doing next, because I want my whole set to flow. Yeah. And so I'm writing the transition so that I know, hey, I just got to get to that next transition.
Yeah. Let's go back. How did you get started in rodeo? Because it's the origin story of all this is wild in and of itself, because it was like you were like 2. No, I'm just kidding. You weren't.
Yeah. I was 9 years old.
But it was young. Yeah. You were 9.
Yep. Well, and so I grew up in South Dakota. I'm from Wyoming. Our family ranch, it's been in our family over 100 years. It's in Wyoming. My grandpa was just inducted in the Cowboy Hall of Fame. Like, our family's a very storied family in the cowboy world. My dad was a college saddle bronc rider. His pro career ended early with a hip injury. But growing up around that, I mean, in that area, rodeo is the number one sport. Rodeo and wrestling are the 2 sports that everybody does.
Wyoming?
In Wyoming, South Dakota, just that whole area. South Dakota especially for wrestling. But saddle bronc riding is kind of the big sport, but you start out with riding steers, get used to the motion, and then you kind of graduate from that. And so I enjoyed riding bulls. So I started riding steers when I was 12, or about 9, and then by 12 I was getting on like younger bulls, 2 and 3 year old bulls. And then by the time I was 14, 15, 16, I was riding, full time. And you can't go pro till you're 18, and so I didn't get my pro card till
now. I want to show this because you sent a couple of pictures here.
Yeah.
And let me see. I don't know. Oh, okay. I think I could get this right here. Let me see. 109. Okay. Let me see if I can make this work right here. What picture? Oh, of course, this isn't going to pay it. Here, let me just do this. I'm going to put this on screen. What is this that we're looking at here? They might not be able to, hold on. They can't hear you. Just give me 1 second here. Let me turn your audio on here. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Now they can hear you. Talk me through. What is this that they're looking at?
All right. So this is a college rodeo. This would have been 2002. I was about to think of where it was, and I noticed on the bottom of the script of the picture, it says the date. That's 2002. That's a short round. Rodeo, you have a long round where everybody competes, and then the top 10 will narrow down, and then they ride a ranker set of bulls. This is a bull called, I think his Wild Bill was his name. Travis Eckroth owned him. Just a sweet bull. Round to the right, just really fun to ride. It kind of floats in the air. So that's me. I'm 19 years old, I think, in that photo there. And he just was fun. Like he turned back right, and the gate turned back means spin. Really float in the air. Just a real fun bull to get on. Triple J, the guy that took the photo, is one of the top rodeo photographers. He just passed away last year, but he's solidified a lot of that. And you actually see the camera back there. I didn't even think about this in that picture. They were doing Fox News was doing or not Fox News, but Fox Channel was doing athlete of the Powerade Athlete of the Month, and I was that. And so they were filming like a short documentary on me. So that's where you see that old school camera in the background there filming me on that deal. But yeah, so that's kind of what that is.
Crazy.
Yeah, and that was a fun little bull. He ended up bucking me off. I got that little. This bull here is a Hall of Fame. He's in the South Dakota Rodeo Hall of Fame, but he is he's been the father and grandfather to a lot of bulls. His name's Bam Bam. And he, as you can see, he's turning back right in the latch.
Bam Bam?
This was Bam Bam. Yeah, this is toward the end of his career. He's the same bloodline as like Lily Yellow Jacket. A lot of them really famous bucking bulls from the late 90s, early 2000s. But he was, growing up, he was like a big bull, big name bull. This is actually about 4 seconds after this, I broke C2 in my neck. I dislocated my right shoulder the night before, and I was getting on him. That at this deal, I was 18 years old, and I was trying to protect my right shoulder. I didn't want it to pop out, so I was kind of making moves a little late, and I got a little behind him. I landed on the back of my head and broke C2 in my neck. But this is one of those pictures where people, especially up north, when they see it, they're very well-known bull where I come from. So yeah,
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. So that's kind of a little bit of what I've done. So both those are kind of some younger pictures when I was younger and stuff. So
you started at a very young age, but it was like you said, this was a family thing, right? Like this was.
Yeah, my brother rode saddle broncs. He was really, really good. Our whole school. So school. What's that? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, was there pressure from your family to do this? Like if you were to be like. If you were like, you know what, I want to be an accountant, or I don't want to do this. I want to go. Oh, you did?
And my dad let me play. He was like, whatever you need to play baseball, and he put the rodeo on hold and let me play baseball, and I loved it. And then all of a sudden, I got to wanting to ride bulls again, and my dad just whatever we wanted to do, he was going to make it happen and make it happen well. Bull riding. I mean, I was 9 years old, and the 1992 world champion that year. I was 9 at night. The year he won it, come and stayed at our house. His name was Cody Custer, and I remember like he slept in my bed. I slept on the couch, and I was like, I didn't want to wash my sheets. I didn't want nothing. I'm world champs in my house,
thing,
and ended up being really good friends with him. Still to this day, very good friends with him. He ended up being one of my traveling partners, which means when you're traveling down the road, it's the guys that you're in the car with. And so my dad never pressured us, never nothing.
That's good.
But he built an arena for us. We raised our own bucking horses and bulls that we hauled to rodeos, so I could get on anytime I wanted. We would just go out in the arena and get on, and so was able to practice anytime I wanted to. And my brother was a very good saddle bronc rider. So our school, that's what I was saying, was our school. I was 45 miles from my school, and that school pooled from like a 90-mile radius. So I was 45 miles from that school, and then K through 12 maybe had 150 students total.
Wow.
Our class, almost everybody rodeoed. In fact, a lot of the guys we rodeoed with, Jeff Willard went on to win a world championship. Like he was a saddle bronc riding world champion, I want to say 2004 or 5, something like that. But a lot of our friends, a lot of the guys that I grew up with, they're all like in the early 2000s, they were the guys. They were the guys everybody had. Was fans of. They were the top guys in the world. And so not only did I grow up in an area that was big in rodeo, I grew up in an era in South Dakota that was considered like the golden era. Like there's so many guys that went on to the NFR qualifications, world championships, Indian rodeo finals, world championships. I mean, just so many like top end pro guys came out of that little area in that time. And so it was just something you did. You loved it. Your friends did it. Everybody around you did it. And so it was just natural for us. Following my dad's footsteps, and my brother was one of the best saddle bronc riders out of that whole group. And then his rookie year on the PRCA tour, which is the professional rodeo tour, he broke 6 and 7. I can't remember if it's T or C, which one it is, but he's paralyzed from the chest down now, and he lives a very successful life. Running a website, I encourage everybody to go check it out. The thebreedersconnection.com has huge sports connections because it's pretty much like an eBay type site for bucking bulls, semen, calves, different things like that. The other day, they just did a sale, 40 lots, which means they sold 40 bulls and broke $1 million that week in sales. But he has big name. He'll have all kinds of sports guys, quarterbacks, baseball players. They're all buying comedians, Larry the Cable Guy, guys like that, all buying bulls through his site and stuff.
Really?
So he's considered one of the top bucking bull experts in the world, and probably bucking animal experts in the world, actually. And so he's very respected in the rodeo industry, and all of that despite despite having a broken neck and being in a wheelchair. So me, when I had my career in at 21 years old because of an injury, just a fluke accident, I couldn't feel sorry for myself because I at least got to ride professionally for 4 years, even though it was all injuries, broken neck, come back to that, broke my back, come back from that, tear my shoulder up. Like it was just, and all the concussions and torn groins and broken ribs and broken tailbone. That's the most, people always ask what's the most painful. I went to get off a bull, got thrown in the air, and I landed on top of my foot, and the spur hit my tailbone and split it into two.
Oh.
It is to this day, if I'm in the car longer than about 6 hours, it gets to hurting, and it's to this day the most painful thing. Then I get up and I'm running, and I can tell it's broken, and this bull comes in behind me, and so I'm like booking it. I go to jump over the fence and flip over the fence and land on my butt. And that moment in life was the most painful thing I've ever gone through in my life. I just laid there, I wanted to die. Yeah.
And I bet when your wife was giving birth, you're like, I don't want to hear it.
No,
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
She's like, it hurts. And you're like, I don't want to hear it, woman. Have you ever landed on your own spur and then ran from a bull and jumped a fence and landed?
A lot of teeth. I've already lost a lot of teeth from riding bulls. I didn't want to lose any more from doing that to her.
Sassing her mid-birth.
Yep.
Yeah, that's smart, man. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No.
That'd be nice. Like I have none of that. If my wife ever had a kid, I have nothing like that. I think the worst I ever did was dislocated my elbow playing roughhousing in the house. I got none of that. I can't compete with all that.
My body's so beat up. My wife the other day, I was snapping at the dog. The dog wouldn't come in. I snapped my fingers and dislocated my finger because you break all your fingers riding bulls and everything. And I'm laying there, my finger's sticking off, looking over it's like all the way off to the side. I look like a football player, right? And I'm like, I go to my wife, I was like, I just dislocated my finger. And she is just belly laughing at me. She's not trying to help. I'm trying to pull it back into place. It's like, she's like, we need to have a camera just follow you around.
Could you just help and not laugh at me? That's crazy, dude. If you think you could sit down, how long do you think it would take you if you were going to sit down and list, just like that, if you were going to list every single injury you've ever had? How long do you think?
Well, just because I've repeated it so many times on podcasts and interviews, I think I could probably do it in 5 minutes. Now, to write it out would be longer because.
Well, how many do you think? I mean,
I'm writing, but
how many do you think it's? How many times? Like, because that would count as one. Well, no, I'm saying just injuries, everything, dislocations, breaks, everything.
Dislocated shoulders, probably. We're approaching 100 dislocations between the two shoulders because there's a video of me, and I remember when it happened, and it was floating around for a while. My shoulder dislocated, and it's hanging out, right? And so I go behind the chutes, and the buck and chutes, and I go back in the area, and I have my buddy, I climb up on the fence as high as I can. I have my buddy put my hand up on the deal, and I close it, and I said, hold my fist. And so he held my fist, and I jumped off of the fence and popped my shoulder back in. And I look over, and there's the cameraman. I just see the camera on the ground, and he's just puking his guts out over the camera. And it was on his camera at the time. The live broadcast was on his camera, so you just see the camera fall and then just puke flying out. It's like, if anybody has a copy of that, I want a copy of it because it's still one of the funniest things I ever seen.
That is. Now, were you always this tough? Were you? I mean, because I feel like this is one of those things where you're either tough or you're not, but did you develop this toughness, or was
it's
it like
the lifestyle? I mean, it really is the lifestyle. You're tough, and everybody around you is tough. If you're soft, you ain't gonna make it. It's just your powder's gonna get damp, and I mean, it's just you ain't gonna make it if you're
that
soft,
would be me
because everybody's getting hurt. You're riding with torn groins. You're riding with broken. I broke T10 and 11 in my back, and I was out 8 weeks, and we put a brace on, and I rode with that brace after 8 weeks with a broken back. Because in rodeo, you're not getting paid if you're not riding. We were talking about this the other day. Yeah, you don't get if you're not riding, you don't get paid, and so you have to be tough. You have to be, and that's another thing I've become a big proponent of. When I was riding, I wanted everybody to think I was the toughest hombre there. Like, man, that guy, cowboy up, he'll get on. It doesn't matter. He'll do anything. When I got hurt, none of those guys were anywhere to be seen. None of them.
Really?
And they were all, and so I realized, man, all these, kind of like what we was talking about at lunch the other day, all these people I was trying to impress were not there when I needed them. My good friends were all there, and they're still there. But I was amazed at how many people acted like they were my best friend when I was on top, and then acted like they never knew me when I was no longer there.
Oh yeah.
And so it was like, so now I tell guys all the time, Cowboy Up is a load of crap. Like, it really is. Like, you're a business. Your body's a business. And my riding style set me up to get hurt a lot too, because I wouldn't give up. I was a lot taller than most bull riders. Most bull riders in that 5'4", 5'5" range. I'm 5'10", long-legged. And so I rode really out over bulls to really take the power away. But if I got in trouble, in my mind, there was no position I couldn't recover from. But that also sets you up for momentum to get slingshot down. And so I'd hit heads with bulls a lot. I'd hit the ground harder a lot. And you got a lot of other injuries, like your internal organs. You think about how hard you hit the ground. Like, my internal organs were all swung around and screwed up. So, like, even from take away all the other injuries, the most annoying thing is I can't lay down when I sleep. I have to sleep sitting up. Because if I lay down, it's like taking that Coke of yours and just laying it down, and just everything runs out and I start choking on puke. Just because everything's so muddled underneath, and that's common for bull riders. That's a common thing. So, like, when I tour with comedians, that's one thing they have to know is, hey man, whatever pillows you ain't using, I'm putting on my bed and I'm using, because I got to sit up. Yeah.
What? Nick, this is crazy, bro. You said sleep like a vampire or a bat. You're just like, bro. How do you...
If I can't lay on my back, because I'll start choking. My wife will wake up and I'll be like, I'll slide through the pillows and I'll wake up choking on my puke, and she's waking me up trying to keep wait because I'm just sitting there gagging on it. So,
let me tell you something, man. First of all, I just want to tell you how big of a wuss I feel about some of the things I have complained about in my life for being hurt. And Joe Pro, I really didn't need you bringing that up in the chat. One of the viewers, Joe Pro, said, has he ever thrown his back out putting a Diet Coke on the roof of his car? Kiss my ass, Joe Pro. Excuse my language. Back in the day when I was on the radio, Nick, I had gotten to work one day and I was going to get my stuff out of the car to head into the studio. And I put my soda on the roof of the car and I threw my back out. And it was so funny to everybody. And I was literally out of commission for a while. I was just like, oh, and everybody's like, how'd you do it? Were you playing ball? I was like, nah, just put my soda on the roof of the car. Dude, that was so embarrassing.
Hey,
you know how out of shape you got to be tough. Reaching for something?
I can act tough, but I'm going to tell you something. The other day, I went to fill the dog food up. I went into the garage and the light was off, and I went to scoop, and a mouse ran up my arm. And I'm going to tell you, I don't care how tough you are. I'm just glad of two things. Number one, that my scream was on a lower spectrum and it wasn't high pitched. And number two, that I didn't pass out from the sudden rush of blood going to my head. It was like I was like, what
That's
was that?
Good. Oh no, my scream would have definitely. My wife would have been like, "Wait, who is that girl in this house? What is he cheating on me?" Yeah. Oh man, are you kidding me? Bro, that's crazy because I almost canceled this show today because I have this pimple right here. That's how much of a wuss I am, dude.
About a week, it'd been a week ago today, I passed out drying the dog's feet off, bringing them in the house. I just been passed out, and I'm laying there trying to get my chickens back in the coop. I'm okay, and a spider crawled out from under me. Man, I'll tell you what, I was moving. I was like, I might be tough with injuries, but I'm a wimp when it comes to all that other stuff. I've become a germaphobe because I get sick so easy now because my brain doesn't. And so like I won't even drink my own water when it gets down to the end. I won't drink after my wife is drinking something. If I shake someone's hands, I'm getting Germex out. I've become a major jerk. So I may have been tough, but I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody that knew me growing up would be like, I was the wimpiest cowboy of all of them. So I may sound so tough funny now, but I'm gonna tell you, if we're going down the road, I'm sure letting everybody in that car know exactly how much pain I was in. So it sounds tough now, but the guys that know me, that traveled with me, they'll probably tell you otherwise. So,
that's fantastic.
The whole deal is don't ever show hurt in the arena. You walk out of there tough.
Really?
You go in the locker room and then you cry like a baby.
But you're crying with your fellow Cowboys, right? You're just not
Oh,
showing
yeah,
it
yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Does that happen a lot where, you're watching? I imagine that would happen where you see something happen to a Cowboy and you're like, oh, he's going to be crying in the locker room. And you can tell, you just
I
know.
think the most famous one was, I want to say 96 or 97. If you've seen the movie 8 Seconds, you know Tuff Hedeman.
Okay.
Tuff Hedeman was the travel partner. He rode for Lane, won the world title. That was the PRCA. The PBR was formed. That was the tour I was on. It's professional bull riders only. That's the big money one. And Tuff had never won a PBR world title. And so it's his last year or second to last year, all he had to do was cover his last bull at the PBR finals in Las Vegas. And he was the world champion. And he bucked off at like 7.3 seconds. And he got so much flack because he just folded his arms and was just trying to hold all his emotion and just walked out of the arena. And everybody that doesn't know him or doesn't know the situation is all, oh, look at that baby, look at. But they don't understand like how much work is put into getting to that place and being there and how much emotion and getting that close. Because the PBR World Championship, a lot of people don't know this, comes with $1 million bonus.
Oh.
So not only that, I mean you're that close to
0.7 from $1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
And a world
but I mean, Tuff is
championship.
he's made well on his own. The movie made him super famous, and I've never
but
really
still,
he's another guy that has a lot of concussion issues that didn't know they were concussion issues until you start kind of digging into it and realizing he has a lot of the same issues of me. Like I'll be driving. I was driving back from oh shoot, what's the club downtown in Houston that has the 3 rooms going, the box and all those.
Oh,
I was driving back
Secret Group.
I was driving back from Secret Group, put in my GPS, and I brained out and didn't know where I was, didn't know what city I was in, all that different stuff. And so I'm driving around Houston trying to figure out where the heck I am. And so there's a lot of those things that you don't realize are concussion related, but they end up being like that, later.
That's
down the road.
scary, dude. Do you have like a contingency plan for that stuff? I mean,
So I do. I have it in my phone.
How long does it last? Is it? I mean, I don't want to call it an episode, but what do you?
Well, we call it a brain episode. Is exactly what we call
Okay.
it. But it usually depends on how quickly I can get everything kind of back in the coop. If I can start piecing things together, I can get it back. There's times that it starts happening that nobody else knows. My wife will be the only one that knows. But if it keeps happening, like if I'm in a loud restaurant and people are trying to talk to me and I can't hear them, it comes on really, really easily there. Or if or we were in Germany, you'll like this. We're in Germany and it happens. I'm riding with my brother-in-law. He's an Army captain, and I'm riding with him, and it happens. And the first thing I do is I try to read everything around me and try to piece together where I'm at. Well, I'm reading words and it's all in German, and I'm like, crap, I forgot how to read. Like I don't even.
You're like, this is a
Because
bad one.
I can't comprehend. I'm in another country, right? So I'm
You're like, this is a
and
bad
so
one. I'm
it's-
not even seeing
yeah.
words.
Exactly. There's a lot of Z's and W's and stuff. And it snowballed really bad to where now I'm like, did I get kidnapped by this tatted dude beside me? I don't recognize him and like all this stuff. And so, but once I can get latched onto something, I've never forgot my wife. I forgot my kids, but I've never forgot my wife. And so as long as I can latch onto her, I can piece things back together. And we've learned kind of how to combat that. A lot of this I've just learned to do on my own. So you just kind of work with it. And yeah.
That is frightening. I mean, that is. And have you had people like help you? Like,
Yeah. So most of those that are around me know what's going on. Like I let my close friends know, or anybody I'm on tour with comedy know. Because I don't want to just go. I don't want to be in a green room in some theater and then just not know where I am and start walking off somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I tour a lot with Bob Smiley, and he knows, there was one time I was driving, something didn't feel right. I pulled over the side of the road, put it in park, and then immediately went into a seizure. Like that freaked him out, stuff like that. But I usually can handle it pretty good. It's really weird when I'm on the road. It doesn't happen that much. It's like my brain compartmentalizes it all to the side. And then when I get home, it just all hits me and so usually if I tour for like 2 or 3 weeks at a time, I'm about 2-3 days at home, not being able to do anything for a while. So just kind of have to learn to adjust on both sides of that. Yeah.
Dude, that's wild, man. Have you, so you said you're writing the book, and are you working with like specialists or people that are studying this? Because it sounds like you have a pretty special case.
Yeah, so just mainly the neurologists that I've worked with and stuff like that. But I actually don't work with any neurologists anymore because no insurance will pick me up. I'm too high risk when they see the extent of my brain injury.
Yeah.
None of them will pick me up, and so I actually have had to quit going to neurologists and just kind of. So I have some that are friends. My daughter's going into it. She's going to be a neurologist, and I've told her I'm paying for your whole life so that you can be my free neurologist when you get this. But my wife, she's going back to school. She's going to get her doctorate degree and become a professor for online degrees, so she can start traveling with me. Things like that. We're starting to make changes now, knowing that it's progressively getting worse, so that in 4 or 5 years we have something in place that I can keep doing what I love to do. I can keep making people laugh. I can keep inspiring people, motivating people, but not having to stop because of my circumstances.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, we're running out of shit. I could probably do this for hours, but let's talk a little bit. You do motivational speaking because of your journey, because of dealing with this for a lot of your life. Talk a little bit about that. How did you get into motivational speaking?
It kind of happened organically. When I was riding bulls, we would do school assemblies, things like that. The PBR kind of had a thing where if you came a day early and did all of their promo stuff, they would give you an extra $500. So, the guys I was traveling with, I was usually with one of the guys I traveled with was a 3-time world champion. Another guy I traveled with was one of the board members and founders of the PBR, and so they were all already going to be there. So even though I was a rookie or my second year, third year, I'm with the Tom Brady's of the sport, traveling with them. And so those are the people want to hear from, and they weren't good speakers. I've been a good speaker my whole life. And so I would usually be the one that would be speaking and telling the story and talking about what we do. And so I've always been speaking. And so when I got hurt, I just kind of rolled into that. And I took over actually as a youth pastor of a church in Montgomery. And man, God just blessed it. We took a youth group, about 15 kids. And it blew up, and we was averaging hundreds of kids a week showing up to this youth group. And then we started satelliting to 30 locations. And so I was speaking to thousands of teenagers a week, just doing that. And so that organically opens up all kinds of speaking gigs because people want to hear, what are you doing? And then that's when we found the brain injury was during that. I had to step away from that ministry. And so it just kind of organically happened. And then I've just been doing it some here or there. And then I just spoke at a conference a couple months ago that was for the Texas music industry, and there was an agent there who used to be a motivational speaker, and he was like, man, he goes, you need to be telling this story. You don't need to be telling it on this level. You need to be telling it to Fortune 500 companies. He's like, you have a $10,000 story. So he's actually taken me under his wing, and we have been, the last 2 months, have been aggressively rebranding my entire motivational speaking, and he is working me through. In fact, I've gone back and I'm rewriting the book. The book was originally just for people with concussions. Now I'm rebranding it for people with concussions, but also motivational on the inside, and each chapter having motivational nuggets in it as well, of not giving up, getting bitter. You can get bitter or you can get better. Just all these different things that I talk about, but putting them actually in the book and making it more that I can sell on the road when I'm doing comedy, as well as doing the speaking. But the speaking has the potential. Right now comedy has been doing, I mean, just it's been incredible. I don't think I'm that funny, but it's been great this last couple
never
years.
do. We never do.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
watch
sign
my
of a
videos
good
back
comic.
and I'm like, why are people laughing at this?
By the way, that's the sign of a good comic. If you would have thought you're hilarious, I would tell you to quit.
The people that post on how funny they are, or you know this, they're usually the least funny.
Bro, every time a comic comes out and goes, I killed, I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
And hang on, because the world rotates every 24 hours, and you're going to bomb next time. If you have that mentality, I guarantee comedy will reset your. I remember even Nate Bargatze talks about, like, he just left making 40,000 people laugh, and then he goes and does his corporate gig, and nobody laughed the entire time.
It has such a way of humbling you. It's a beautiful thing. I hate it, but at the same time, it's like I really needed that. I really needed to go in front of 9 people and not do good. I needed.
I would rather bomb in front of 9. It sucks when you bomb in front of like 100.
But you know what? Even then, because you start to, I mean, I remember, dude, I was on a run for, I was just show after show. I was just, you could have told me nothing. show after show, just killing. And then all of a sudden, I just couldn't get a good show. Every show I did was just okay at best. And I was like, am I even good at this anymore? And then it all kind of has a way of leveling out. But, oh, yeah, it'll humble you real fast.
Anytime I get to thinking I'm doing really good, I go down to the inner city and do shows there and then do all new material. And reminds me very quickly, that's not my crowd. So it'll be, there's probably people in Houston probably think, man, this guy sucks. Because I'll only do new material because I'm like, hey, I got to get it out and I'm going to get my bomb out of the way.
Yep.
So I'm going to do it in front of people that is not my crowd, so I don't do it in front of people who are. So,
exactly. I want to real quick, because we're running out of time, but I want to go back to something we kind of glossed over, which I was like, oh, no, we're coming back to this. Mensa, huh?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second. We're just not going to gloss over that.
Yeah, I was smart. I graduated high school at 17. Went to college, was still 17.
Okay.
And was on the whichever one of the dean's list, president list, whichever, as a 4.0 student. Was staying a 4.0 student all through college until the concussion. I got knocked out 3 times in one night at one event, and then I struggled to get C's from that moment forward. Like I went from straight 4.0 student to just struggling. But I'm one of the weird guys. I like to learn. I think that's why my brain also is doing so well, is because I don't let it settle. But yeah, so I had a math professor that was like, hey, I want to test you. He said, you're answering these math problems way too quickly. So he said, you're either cheating or your IQ is on another level. So he got an IQ test.
Now, when was this?
This would have been in the year 2000. So I'd have been 17, almost 18 years old.
Oh, okay. So this was kind of at the end of high school.
No, I was in college at this point.
Oh, you were in college.
My freshman year of college. Yeah. Freshman year of college. Yeah. And so he had me tested, and I have it written down somewhere. I can't remember what the number was, but I was like 4 points above the Mensa scale. And then that's the thing that's really interesting is about 10 years ago.
Oh, so you're barely Mensa. Oh.
But hey, it's still Mensa. It's still Mensa. My wife always jokes.
I'm just messing with you. That would be like the way. Could you imagine somebody be like, oh, you're barely Mensa? It's like, it's
you're probably they're probably 30 points lower than me.
That's that's like somebody that's like, yeah, I have $1.03 million. Oh, you're barely a millionaire. They're still a millionaire. You know what I mean? You're barely Mensa.
Well, so I got tested again 10 years ago, and I'm now 2 points below the Mensa scale.
Oh, well,
so it's really interesting that that was one of the things they wanted to test was I've lost a lot of knowledge, like remembering things. Numbers are now hard for me.
Oh, really?
I don't have a lot of memories. I don't remember much of my college years. Most people, it's because of a different reason than me, but I don't remember that much. But I only dropped 6 points in the Mensa scale, on the IQ, which was really interesting. That was 10 years ago, and I'm sure I've dropped a lot more since because I just haven't tested again.
Well, yeah, but when you consider all of the damage that your brain has suffered, so yeah, Joe Pro said this is another winner, Barry. Such an interesting interview. Thank you. Yeah, man, I appreciate that, Joe Pro. I knew it when we were having lunch. I was just like, I got to get Nick on the show. I always like to have like the way the genesis of this show started. Nick was I was doing ESPN radio, and during COVID, I was just doing interviews at night because we were bored. And so I was just bringing on random people. And then when I got laid off from ESPN, I started this show, Barry on Deck, and I was still doing interviews because that's kind of what I was doing. And so I still do it. I'm just like, yeah, let's just bring on people and chit chat and stuff. And so it's kind of because a lot of times people are like, hey, you want to do my podcast? It's usually just like an hour, but I'm like, nah, I do both. So this was fantastic, dude. By the way, Amos said, when you were talking about the whole, functioning and not functioning and not all that, he said, this sounds like he's explaining what I think Joe Biden is like in private.
I tell that people say with a brain injury.
That's so funny, Amos.
That's my lead line that I'll use that doesn't go as well in the city. People say, why are you doing comedy with a brain injury? And I'm like, that is sense, but then I watch someone with way more brain damage than me become president of the United States. And so it's like, if he can do it, I can do it. And so
that's so fantastic, dude. Well, bro, this was fun, man. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate you taking the time to do it. I'm glad I checked my phone because I was like, that's because I usually turn off my my notifications during the show, so I'm always
And I
2 to
saw
5.
you had that, and I was like, if he doesn't see it before, I'm going to jump in his chat and say something. at
Yeah,
some
that's
point.
smart.
So,
That was
I
absolutely
was
the
panicking
smart
because I
thing
was
to
like,
do.
oh man, I don't know, I didn't get it, and my brain doesn't. I never saw that I typed it wrong until you said that, and I was like, oh no. So that was my fault. 100%. I apologize.
Hey, no worries, Dre. I appreciate that. Dre said this was a great interview. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man. I knew it. I was like, this is gonna be a lot of fun, and I appreciate you doing it. And I will have this posted up. I'll carve this out. I always like to take the interview, so I'll get this up in a couple of days. Nick, this was fantastic, man. I have the links, but tell everybody. I mean, pump what you want to pump, promote what you want to promote. Tell everybody where they can find you. I'm putting the website and the socials in the chat right now, but whatever you want to push.
I need to rebuild it back up. I stopped posting videos and lost tens of thousands, lots and lots of followers because I haven't. Barry knows why. I legally can't say why. So,
right.
Until for a couple more months. But Nick at Nick Morrison Comedy for that. I do have an at Nick Morrison Comedy for Facebook, but they just changed my normal account to being a professional account as well, and I get paid more money on that account than I do the other, so I'd rather people follow me there. So it's facebook.com /PNickM, or at Nick Morrison Comedy. You can follow me on both those, and then the website. And then that Biden joke I just told earlier got me suppressed on YouTube, so I don't use YouTube anymore. But so you can. They shut me down over that joke.
Really?
But, yeah, they shut me down. I mean,
Did somebody report you, or was it just like?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah. It was. Yeah. Someone reported me for being offensive, and I was like,
that's so stupid.
Yeah. People are they're weird. But they don't understand what comedy is. But anyways, I don't want to hold your audience up there. But those are and then nickmorrisoncomedy.com. Check on there. I don't put all my shows on there because most of my comedy shows are corporate gigs. I would venture to say that right now I'm 85-90% of my gigs are corporate gigs, and so my calendar on the website looks like I don't have anything on it. But it's, believe me, it is very full. So
what I learned to do, man, in that regard, and it's kind of I mean, you do what you want to do, but what I would always list my private gigs, because what it does is people go, oh, he does privates too.
Yeah.
So I'll put privates on just so people know that, and then I'll get people that will hit me up to do private. So, Mark, I appreciate you. Mark said, great interview and show. Time to drive. Appreciate you, Mark. B. Hannon said, good stuff. Thank you, buddy. Donna, I appreciate you. She said, good interview. John Dorier, thank you. This was great. Uriel, I appreciate you. Dre, I appreciate you. Hey, Nick, thanks so much, man. Thanks for doing this.
Hey,
thanks for taking the time, man. Yo, that is Nick
Anytime,
Morrison.
man.
I put all the stuff in the chats. Go follow, go support, as I always ask you guys to do, and you do so well. Nick, thanks again, bud. All right,
bud.
that is Nick. Go follow, go support, and that's another edition of Barry on Deck. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's a fascinating story, man. 50 plus concussions. Dude, just the amount of injuries that man has dealt with is just... When he was telling me at lunch, I was like, this is insane. Like, crazy. Donna, hashtag ask me anything about anything. Congrats on a clean show. See, I can do. I mean, I did it all the time on the radio. Just, I know I should be doing it. I should be. Especially if I want to sell this to somebody, but whatever. Alex, I appreciate you, buddy. Joe Pro, thank you, man. Go back and watch. Love you. Love you guys. I will see y'all tomorrow. I am hoping Barry's got all the cool friends. I am hoping, I am trying to get Dustin Sims to come over and hang out with me for 3 hours on the patio. Y'all remember Dustin Sims? He came on for an hour and told stories, and I just asked him, you gonna come over and hang out on the patio? He was supposed to. We'll see what happens. If he doesn't, I'll work on getting somebody else. Either way, we're doing a show. That's the important thing. So you come on back. And I will see you. Adam, hey man, appreciate you being here. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. I will see you guys tomorrow. Do me 3 favors before I see you tomorrow. Be safe. Be be kind, and most importantly, love each other. Bye, guys. Thank you, Jesus. Much love, homie. All right. I don't think we're raiding anybody. Let's see. We got a raid. Do we have a raid? Weather is likely to be clearing by showtime tomorrow. Oh, good. I don't. Nah. All right. I'm out. Hey, happy birthday, Jeffrey Jr. Sir. Bye, guys. And he's making a YouTube video.